What's going on? Welcome to episode 3 of the Shredcast, where I bring on my friend Original Shinobi. In this episode, Shinobi and I talk about MK12 and our hopes for the next installment of Mortal Kombat. We also talk about MK11 and previous installments, and we kind of analyze and break down all the successes and failures and the things we liked and disliked from previous installments and how we would like all those things instilled into the next installment of Mortal Kombat. And I know this is a really long episode, so I made sure to timestamp everything down below, so feel free to skip around and go to the different sections. In fact, I encourage you to do so. And as always, like, subscribe, comment down below, tell us what you think and if you agree, if you disagree. And now let's get after it. Shinobi, what's going on, man?
What's up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a busy work day, but I'm all good now.
Good. You you feeling that storm yet?
Yeah. Yeah. At work I was feeling it a lot, and I don't hear anything right now, but I bet you if I look outside, it's gonna be stormy.
I was just saying, I stepped out, like I stepped into the garage to get something to drink, and there was like, I didn't hear nothing, but apparently it's supposed to be like the storm of the century.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is my boy OG Shinobi. We're from Northern California, and he is king of locals, as I like to call him. And I met him at an MK11 locals, and when I would go to his name always got brought up at other locals too. Every time I went to like a Dragon Ball Fighters locals, it'd be like, oh, Shinobi's not here this week. It's like, oh, we're missing Shinobi this weekend. So yeah, man, so we're both big MK fans. MK is what got me into fighting games in the first place, all the way back at MK1. Played through the 3D era. And so what's your MK story, bro?
Whoa. My MK story. Well, see, in the beginning of time, no, I'm just kidding. But but my story's not pretty much how everybody else's is. They see this game at the
Mm-hmm.
arcade, and it's just like you see like Street Fighter over there here, Hadouken, and then you see somebody over here yelling, "Get over here!" I'm like, "Ooh, I want to try
Right.
that."
No, I'll never forget
So,
Straw Hat Pizza. MK seeing the MK2
oh,
cabinet at Straw Hat Pizza, bro. That was where it started.
mine was Florin Mall. They had a arcade.
Mm-hmm.
It's not there anymore, obviously, but
I know.
yeah, the Florin Mall.
I know. No more
Florin
Flora
Mall. That
Mall.
was like right. That was my first first ever like arcade I've been
Uh-huh.
to, and me and my cousin would go there like every week if I stayed the night at his house or he stayed at mine, and we'd just either walk or get dropped off,
Mm-hmm.
and he would be like, "Let's go play this." I was like, "What? I don't know." I'm like, what, 5 at the
Mm-hmm.
time, 5 at the time, and
Because at
we
that
just
time you were
going
5 or 6 years old, you could play Mortal Kombat. I mean, I
right,
wasn't supposed to, but of course I did. But
right.
like,
I
yeah.
mean, my parents never knew what it, like how it was
Mm-hmm.
until maybe I think it was MK4. I think there was
Mm-hmm.
like a something happened. I don't know, but they seen something on TV, and my mom was like, "He can't play that." My dad, he can't. They did. She just came out of nowhere. He can't play that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I tricked my dad at Blockbuster,
Mm-hmm.
and I showed him MK4 for Nintendo 64, and
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I want to get this," and he said, "Okay, well, just my dad is like oblivious. He if I'm happy, he's happy. If I
Okay.
if I stop saying Daddy, I want this, Daddy, and then he don't hear, he's fine."
Yeah.
So I showed him this, and I was like, "Hey, can I get this?" He's like, "Yeah, that's fine." He like paid no mind, gave it in there, and I'm in my room playing it, and then my mom walks through the front door. I turn the volume down, like almost to mute.
Uh-huh.
And I'm still sitting there playing, and she walks in, and she's like, "What is this?" I was like,
Hmm.
I'm playing Mortal Kombat. Who got you this game?" I was
Hmm.
like, "Dad said I could rent it." And then basically, my dad got cussed out. uh,
Yeah.
my dad got cussed out, then I got in trouble. So I couldn't play until I want to say like my seventh birthday.
Hmm.
What was that? What,
Dude,
98?
I think that was kind of everyone's, like, any 90s MK player,
Hold
any OG MK fan always has that same I was playing it and I wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I wasn't supposed to be. I mean, I got so I my first was MK1 on Sega Genesis that I had to borrow from my neighbors that I could only play when my mom was at work. And whenever I would go to my friend Chris's house down the street, his parents let him play MK. He had MK2, and his parents let him play
Mhm.
MK2. We went to the same church. And his, his parents let him play it.
Oh
And I
wow.
remember going over to Chris's house, and my mom would be like, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm going to Chris's house." She goes, "Okay, you guys better not be playing Mortal Kombat." I'm like, "Okay," but
Okay, mom,
yeah,
we're
that
not.
that's everybody's story. I feel like that's everyone's story.
Hmm.
You know, okay, you shouldn't be
Yeah,
playing that. Yeah,
like MK2 was my very first MK,
yeah.
and my is if it has something to do with Mortal Kombat, it's always my bigger cousin. He got me into Mortal
Okay.
Kombat. He got me into basically just fighting games in
Hmm.
general. Like he got me into Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom. That was our jam. We
Hmm.
played that at there's like a little grocery store around the corner from my house.
Hmm.
We quarters every time. We probably they're rich off of us. But
That cabinet was paid for by us.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like we would go and play, and then like
Hmm.
MK. He had MK3, the first one,
Hmm.
without Scorpion and everybody. And when he got it,
Okay. OG MK, MK3,
yes,
before Ultimate MK,
yes,
when Scorpion was not in the
yes,
game. Yeah. Okay.
yes. And he was I was with him when he got it, and he
Hmm.
booted it up, and then he was like, "Where, where's Scorpion?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, he's like,
Yeah.
the yellow ninja that you play. I was like, "Yeah, that you play on the other one." I was like, "Yeah, he's not in here."
Like
I was
what?
like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah. I think that was probably the first sign by Ed Boon to be like, okay, I probably should not put I probably should never not put Scorpion in a game after that point.
Right,
Yeah.
right, because they was also missing who? Raiden.
Hmm.
Raiden wasn't in. Well, yeah, Raiden was in two. Yep, Raiden wasn't in.
Hmm. The only two people who weren't in two that were in one was Sonya and Kano.
Sonya and Kano. That's awesome.
Yeah, those were the two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but but yeah, so we met at locals. We like to do a lot of locals, and I feel like with probably MK12 going to be coming out this year. And other games coming out. Street Fighter 6 is gonna be coming out. Tekken 8, but in the Cannon Brothers, with the building Project L, they were really big on
Oh,
locals. And
Project L.
yeah, we could talk about that a little bit if you want to, because that's one of the biggest game I'm looking forward to. But I always get this feeling like whenever something big is going to happen soon, I always get this like, okay, I'm hyped about MK again. Something's big about to happen. I swear it's
Right,
subliminal
exactly.
I swear it's subliminal messaging. I swear all of a sudden, I'm like, something's about to happen. So anyway, yeah, with MK12, I'm I'm a lot more optimistic than a lot of the people I talk to about it.
Mhm.
And from the way we've been talking about it, sounds like you are as well.
Oh
And
yes.
yeah, and uh I came off of MK11. It took me a while to accept the fact that to me it wasn't a good game. And don't get me wrong, there was a lot of good that came from it.
Mhm.
Uh, some of the good in the mechanics. There was some good in the lore, and we'll get to that in a bit. But
Mhm.
how did you feel about MK11?
MK11 in the beginning, from a competitive standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
I loved it.
Okay.
Uh, Actually, from both, from competitive and fan, I loved how the it looked. I
Yeah.
had two of my favorite characters. I had two of my top favorite characters in the game, and I've been missing news for a while.
Yeah.
and and like later down the line, I was like, I'll talk to some of my competitive friends. He's like, I like it. It feels like they're rewarding offense a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
then realize how kind of wrong we was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they was like further along. They wasn't liking it a lot. Like I loved it still. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was basically rooting for this game. Like I still like it, and everybody was like,
Mm-hmm.
"It's a bad game. It's a bad game." I don't. And I still don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a good game. It
Mm-hmm.
just has some issues.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like. I still. Yeah.
And
It's.
go ahead.
I was gonna say it could get boring at some points for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I still have fun with the game. I could
Yeah.
still have fun. Like when they brought Shiva back, I was on it 24/7
Mm-hmm.
because I like Shiva. I played her to MK9. Like she was one of the characters I've been waiting for to
Mm-hmm.
like give me Shiva back, and they gave me Shiva, and I was just stomping everybody.
I would. I'm in the same boat. I liked that they brought Shiva back. I just don't like that I just didn't like her character design. That was the
Oh,
only
like
thing.
the yeah, yeah, I can see what, yeah, yeah,
And I mean, they she has her MK3, her MK9 is the same. Even in the MKX comics, um,
right.
she was the same. Then they completely changed her. I wasn't. That was the one part where I was like, oh man, they that doesn't even. I don't even recognize her. You know,
Right.
the moves are the similar. Like it felt like Shiva when you played her,
Hmm.
but
Right.
um, but yeah, we can go to mechan. You know, I said we'd probably start on aesthetics, but we can start on mechanics. See, with MK11, I agree. It was fun. I
Mechanics for MK12.
what's that?
MK12. Making mechanics for MK12.
No, with MK11 was
MK11. Okay.
okay. So you said you had a lot of fun with it, and
Yeah.
I can admit I had a lot of fun. Competitively, it was great.
Hmm.
And I got to give props to people like Mr. Aquaman and MF Slayer because
Hmm.
there's they are dying on that hill. They're like, no, we love
Yeah.
MK11, you know, and props to them for making their own contests and doing their own thing online. And uh, I got to give them full respect for that one. But
Hmm.
because I'm bored with it, and a lot of things I felt uh, should have never been done. Um, one of them, probably the most important one, is gosh, where I have a list right. Dang, I have a list right here. Breakaway, and
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
so they had in my they had combo break. Combo breaker is a legacy mechanic that's been a part of MK for a long time, since the 3D era, and I thought it was great. The reason why was because you had to there was risk, there was no risk, but there was also no reward either. It was you as the defense had to utilize resources to pretty much reset where you are. And so you were on the disadvantage because you just used all your resources to do basically a reset. But the person on the offense who was comboing off of you uh, uh, gets pushed back, but doesn't get punished. And yeah, it was just a reset. That's the point of a combo breaker,
Right.
was to use resources to reset. You know, and I felt like breakaway was just okay, I'm going to utilize resources, which the resources were also, I was kind of okay with defensive and offensive meter, but they just recharged way too fast. So it's like, oh, I'm going to use both my defensive meter. Okay. And
Right.
then all of a sudden, you know, a couple seconds later, it's back up again. And then the combo durations were so long, and I was a katana main. So when I would, so, you know, it's like if I'm, when I'm doing, gosh, what was it? Like 4-2-3-4 or back 2-3, back 2-3-1. It's like the durations of those combos were so long that if you would break away from those, the combo would be going to you, the person on the defense who was getting combo would just be able to pop up and then punish me for it. And I hated that.
Right.
And they tried to fix it by implementing crushing blows, but I just felt like it just made it worse.
The armor breaking moves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I first seen it, because I think they did that with Spawn. I think Spawn was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I did like it.
Okay.
I liked it. I was like, okay, now they're trying to fix their mistake. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
One character having it, I thought it was good. And the way he had it, if you fall out, you pop up and then you get another combo. Well, continue to combo. And I thought that was cool. And then they gave it to everybody else. And
dude, Shao Kahn had like
some
3.
Right.
Yeah.
And then some characters, it's not good. Like, why? Why would you? Why would you give them this when they can't even use it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do like Scorpion's back 3, the overhead flip kick. I do like it, but like people could break out of his combos so fast. What's the use? What's not good for it?
Yeah.
And like, unlike say Johnny Cage or Liu Kang's, which they have like a grab animation for it. Liu Kang's is the command grab. And he could just command grab you out of it, and then that's amazing. And then Johnny Cage, I believe his is called Beat Up. Can't remember, but I know it's like a little grab, and he just starts punching you in the face and everything, and then his EX does a backflip kick. Like those are good, but like when they give like some characters like useless ones, like say who's not a useless one?
I'm drawing a blank too. So, but yeah, there were some that were just like I feel like like crushing blows was a great mechanic actually. It was just I feel like we had a good thing with combo breaker, and then they just took it away for breakaway, which I felt like was a very poor mechanic. And I just don't like, you know, I understand using resources to reset, but I don't like to where you could just break away and the person who has the advantage is now getting punished for being the better player. Yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, the breakaways is basically what It came in what Injustice 2, and I guess they was just like, let's try to implement it in our other game, see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Even though our other game had something that was way better, we might try this out and see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody hated
Yeah.
Breakaway.
That I
I
think
haven't
that
heard.
universally everyone did not like Breakaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. The I did like Fatal Blows. Or sorry, Fatal Blows. Crushing Blows. I didn't like Fatal Blow. So if I didn't like
crushing,
I didn't like
crushing blows.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I did not like Fatal Blows because I don't like comeback mechanics. If you're botting somebody because you're a better player, you deserve to win. And
Okay, I understand that.
but if you're like, if you're below 30% health and you have the ability to make a comeback, if you can make a comeback without the fatal blow, I can give mad props to you every day of the week. But if you can get one full combo off and end it with a fatal blow and turn what was a 25% combo into a 55% combo to make a comeback, I don't like that. I was okay with X-rays.
X-rays is barely used.
Yeah, I know, but it's like that was the point. It was a big deal if you did use it, and particularly True. In MK9 because X-rays only lasted 5 seconds.
Yeah, that was like that. Like, what Scorpion had a punch to your gut and punch to your face, and that was it.
Yeah, and Melina had her gut jabs and then a knee to the face.
Yeah, like those are.
Yeah, and now everybody has a full-on cinematic feature.
Okay, I like the cinematics though. I like the cinematics. Okay. I do. Because so crushing blows.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of them are good, but I think they should just get rid of crushing blows on down twos. Because in this game, this made everybody down two happy. Oh, they're about to press a button, down two. Oh my gosh, they're about to hit me, down two, down two, down two.
Yeah.
So even if they feel like you're going to do something, they just twitch and press down two.
You can read a grab. If you know someone's going to grab you, you just hit down two, and there you got a crushing blow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like everybody was down to it. Like in the beginning, I was for sure down too heavy because I wanted to see how big of a combo I could get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if they took crushing blows away from down twos and throws, I'll be fine. I'll be good.
Okay. Because I like the idea, like for instance, Nightwolf. Like he had one to where if you use his EX special shoulder charge, to where he would do the shoulder charge and then do. But if you if you measured the distance to where, you didn't hit the shoulder charge, but you did the axe, you would get a crushing blow.
Right. Yeah. That I love that.
See, I like that.
That's dope. Like, yeah, but the down twos and then I only say not throws because throws in MK is a 50-50 no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I could take a throw with one button like Injustice or Street Fighter,
mm-hmm.
I'll be fine with.
Okay, I agree with that one wholeheartedly. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I like taking throws with one button.
Right.
Yeah, so I agree with that.
If I make this wrong 50-50 guess, I'm
mm-hmm.
eating 30%.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
I'm eating 30%.
Yeah.
But for the fatal blows,
mm-hmm.
I like the fatal blows because I like how it looks, and then I think of the ultras from Street Fighter 4.
Okay.
The only thing I didn't like is how fast it comes back. Now I would think so. For what I came up with, I was like, so what if you just basically like you got the fatal blow faster, but it did less damage. As you was getting beat up,
mm-hmm.
you got your fatal blow, and it did less damage,
Mm-hmm.
but you got it faster. And then if you get beat up some more, it's to get stronger. Like it does not as just basically the normal damage it does now.
Mm-hmm.
So it just does that. But later on, I mean earlier on, it does like maybe 25% less, half, something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have because once somebody has fatal blow, you're scared to press anything
Mm-hmm.
because there's fatal blows is all reward. Like some of them goes almost full screen, and like Garrus, he vacuum you in. Like some of the cast can't punch
Yeah.
that. Almost half the cast can. I won't say pretty much. Well, there's some people that can punish you, just some ain't. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
I could understand a fatal blow, um, if it was if it was more risk. I just felt like there wasn't enough risk with it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And as a
yeah.
katana, like as a katana main,
And,
I could end a fatal, like I could use a fatal blow on block, and it would push you
mhm,
away to where you couldn't punish me.
right.
And I feel
And
like
go ahead.
and so I feel like there wasn't enough risk for how rewarding it actually was,
Yeah,
and also that I didn't like how you if you missed, you could try again, couldn't you?
yeah. If you miss, it comes back.
Yeah, I don't like
And
that.
I was like, I was,
Yeah,
I said in the beginning, I was like, if it missed, it should never come back. It
yeah,
should go. It should go away. That's
yeah,
your fault for using it.
yeah. There,
And
you know, when you had it, you were like, okay, you almost were pressured
right,
to use it, and then the defense, the person you're playing against, knew you were trying to use it.
right.
So it was. I'll admit, like it was, it could have been hard to use, but it just
Okay.
the risk reward, the ratio was not there with
Right.
it.
Like the most, in my opinion, the most hated fatal blow was Aaron Black's.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
it was super fast, full screen. If you get if you sneeze, you're getting hit. And
I think Frost was the same thing, wasn't she?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was Frost was a little slower.
Okay.
Frost was a little slower, yeah. But Aaron Black, he is just like you're done.
Hmm.
Like if you have a little bit of health, like they just bring out the acid and then just shoot you. You're done.
Hmm.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought they should get rid of it if you use it on because then that means okay, now I got fatal blow. Now I got to think of a good way or a good combo or wait
Hmm.
for them to punt so I can get a punish or wait for them to mess up anti-air something and I'm able I'm back in the race.
Hmm.
But since it comes back so fast, I'm gonna just use it and if they block I'll just wait it out till I get it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I didn't like it a lot, or didn't like it at
Like
all.
yeah.
So the one
I'm
thing.
gonna wait it out till I get it again. And once he messed up again, I'm gonna do it again.
Mhm.
And if he doesn't get hit this time, then I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep doing it and doing it and doing it until yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. The one thing, and probably my favorite, this is probably my favorite mechanic that was introduced in MK11, was flawless block.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
so I liked flawless block. However, I think it was halfway implemented poorly. So I think it was where I didn't like it was, for instance, Scarlet. I didn't like that you could flawless block
Uh,
on a combo string mid combo string.
oh, the gaps.
Mm-hmm. Because I think I'm pretty sure you could flawless block her 2-1-2. I'm
I think he can flaws block everything she does.
almost all of her no, she didn't have a lot of big combos, but I'm pretty sure that
Right.
you can flawless block a lot of it. But I like flawless block. I think it's great.
Hmm.
But I think it should be more rewarding towards the person who does it off of a read rather than off of a combo string. And see, I didn't like for, if you're a Scarlet player and you're doing a combo string, and all you had to do was, up two, and you flawless blocked up two, and there you got a full combo. If it was more implemented in the way, like for instance, V reversal from Street Fighter V, I like that one a lot better because it gives you the advantage, and it puts you back on the offense, but it also doesn't like overly punish the person who was on the offense, especially in the mid of a combo string. If it was something like you read someone, doing a special, or maybe you read somebody doing a throw, then yeah, I can see that. But I really like flawless block, and I think it should come back. I just think it should be implemented more towards a read rather than just a mid combo string.
Okay. I also in the beginning I did not like flawless block
Okay.
in the beginning. Then I started learning how to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
then I was like, oh, this is good. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you're not touching
it's hard.
me.
Yeah.
Right. And once I got it down, I was like, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody, you're not going to jump in on me
Mm-hmm.
and blah and all that. And I was like, yeah, okay. I
Who
think
who was it? Who was I forgot what it I forgot which tournament it was, but it was a pro player. He was really good at flawless block, and Sonic walked on the stage, and they were like, no, 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 you're not going to flawless block me. And he ends up doing it to him. And it was like
I think it was Deoxys.
yeah,
Deoxys with
Deoxy
Gears.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, and he was like the master of flawless blocking. And then Sonic walks on, and they're like, no, no, you're not going to do it to me. And he does it to him. And everything. Oh man,
Yeah.
that was such a hype moment.
Like I do like flawless blocks.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like up three. I mean up twos. I do not like up twos.
I agree. I agree with you.
So I said if they do flawless block, you should just be able to do a up three, not a up two.
Mm-hmm.
Because like some players would disagree, but I don't care what they say. Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to get a full combo. I mean, yeah, if I'm on point and I get all these flawless blocks
Mm-hmm.
and then get a punish, because that's basically what the meta became now. Like you get a flawless block, and now instead of doing up three or up two,
Mm-hmm.
you're punishing. You're like getting a full combo punish now. So
Yeah.
that I do like what have the flawless block became than what it was in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody would do like with Garrus, you just flawless block and do his fast
Oh yeah.
up two like like yeah, I'm
That
gonna just
up
do this
shoulder charge
nine
that was
frame.
so annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking hate that
Oh my
charge.
gosh, that was so
I hated
fast
it.
and it hit everywhere.
Yeah.
But like I like what it became,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't mind seeing that back, to be honest.
I do too. I would like to see it back. I just think it, like I said, I just think it should be implemented more, kind of in the way V reversal is, or
Right.
just something that you are rewarded for reading the character.
Mm-hmm.
So I just didn't like it being able to use it mid combo string. That was my only gripe with it. But the other thing I want to kind of bring up was was 50/50s. I actually did like the rollout system, or the wake up system. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the rollout was good. I didn't like the up to. I think a lot of people can agree they don't like the up to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the wake up system in MK9 and MKX. But I did not like how they implemented MK11. And I just felt like I was just kind of at that, by the time MK11 came out, I was just over 50/50s. And of course, here comes here
Run up overhead.
Yeah, and
Run up low.
it's like MK11, it's gonna be footsies based, and we're not gonna do, no 50/50s, and voila, there's 50/50s. So yeah, I was just over that. Yeah, at that point.
I mean,
But
the 50-50s in this game is not as bad. I
no,
mean,
no.
it's not. Yeah, like you're not going to get a 40% combo off this overhead.
No.
Yeah.
And dude, some of the combos, like I'll admit, like dude, the combos were so much fun to do in MKX. I'll give you that, and they're very
Yeah.
like satisfying. About 50%, like yeah, that was a bit much, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
The
my
the wake ups.
go ahead,
Oh, go ahead. Okay.
no, keep going.
The wake ups in MK11, I agree. I did not like up twos, but I did like up threes, and I did like the rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Because with those, like if you flawless block a up three, you could get a punish. I thought that was dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like say, oh, I'm about to walk up on you, and you're finna up three, and I'm finna flawless block it, and now I'm about to punish.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me, I think that's hype because like who has the balls to do
Yeah.
that? Like I'm gonna just walk up on you and you're gonna wake up and now I'm about to punish you. And
Mm-hmm.
then rolls, you can also punish those.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, like which way I'm gonna roll. You don't know which way I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll back here. You can't do nothing unless you're
Yeah.
Cabal.
I don't
Then
know
you just
anybody
run
who
them.
roll especially if you're in a corner and nobody back roll. That you just be dumb to back
Oh
roll.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah. But they're easy to grab. That was the cool thing. Is like they're punishable, so I liked it. But I think both you and I agree, and I think most everybody agreed. Just like up three was just a bad call.
Yeah,
No,
I didn't like up threes.
no.
Up twos, I'm cool with. Up threes, I did not like
Mm-hmm.
because up threes felt so. I wouldn't say unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
Um, unless how like we have up threes like say Scorpions. His up three is like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an upward sword, like it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Scarlets.
Yeah,
who are you
exactly.
gonna hit with? You're not gonna hit anybody.
No.
And then like some up threes was so useless. Like, why would I do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I just think they should, if they like gave different animations for up threes. I think
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have been good with it because then that means everybody could do, flaws block up three. Then some people not be able to. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like,
I don't think every character should be created equal. Like
right.
every character needs to have their thing, and so for every character to have that, you know, I agree with you.
Like with with up three, up two. No, I said up three.
Mm-hmm.
I mean to say up twos. Up with up threes, the invincible one.
Mm-hmm.
Some wake ups. Every single wake up, this is supposed to be a mid. But if you could just ducks, I believe Scorpion. I mean, Noobs, Sub Zero, um, maybe Scarlets. Like you could just duck them, and they basically don't have like a good wake up option
Mm-hmm.
because you could just duck their wake up, and all they could do is roll.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, and
if
you're right.
they,
Scarlet's a prime example for that one. It
mhm.
was useless.
Yeah.
So
When I played Scarlet, I did not want to hit the ground. I stayed far. Like no,
mm-hmm.
if I get on the ground, I'm dead. Like you're coming at me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I roll. That's easy to read. You're just gonna. I was scared.
Mm. Yeah. The last minute the last thing is on the mechanics subject is so I've been playing through Deadly Alliance recently,
Mhm.
and one thing I liked about it about the Conquest is that you're reading through a story, but it's kind of tricking you into learning the basics and fundamentals of the game and the basics and fundamentals of each character. Street Fighter 6 is in Project L. They haven't showed us how. I kind of hope in the next update video that Tom and Tony Cannon show us how they are going to make Project L new player friendly, as they've been saying. Like, we're all about the new players. Street Fighter 6, Nakayama and I think it's Matsumoto. They're big on the new characters, bringing back the fun of it, and I feel like that has kind of the fun element of Mortal Kombat has kind of fallen off. MK9 and MKX were big on the competitive scene, and especially MK9, since it was the first game where we're like, okay, we're going to focus on esports.
Right.
MKX was all about that.
Right.
MK11, they're really expanding on the story and everything. But I feel like similar to 3D era, and what Street Fighter 6 is trying to do now is kind of trick new players into learning fundamentals of the game. Because one thing we've been talking about a lot recently in the Discord is fighting games are hard, and it is hard to bring in new players. The genre itself is very niche. The FGC is really small. And you look in the comparison to other games, okay, MK11 sold 12 million copies. For the FGC, that's a lot. In comparison to Modern Warfare, that sold 130 million. It's not. And it's successful. It is successful for a fighting game, but it's like what I feel is it kind of lost that fun element to it that Street Fighter 6 is trying to bring back. Now, I think Street Fighter 6 is probably not going to sell as big as we think it is, because of how niche the market is. But MK has that legacy title. It has the name MK. So I feel like the tutorial was pretty decent in MK11, but where I felt it lacked was the new player. And I feel like we should, I feel like, not we should, 'cause I don't work for NRS, but I feel like in the next game it should implement like a great way to trick the players into, trick new players into learning the fundamentals of the game, like fun ways that they can learn how to do like quarter circle forward and quarter circle back, and how to do all those things, but make it rewarding at the same time.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because when you and I pick it up, we've been playing MK forever.
Forever, right?
Yeah, and Scorpion Spear forever has been forward one, and I'm pretty. Is it still forward one?
No, it's back forward.
Back forward. I'm sorry. I apologize. Back forward one.
There you go.
Yeah. and his teleport is what is down back 3.
Down back 3, I believe.
Yeah. So it's like we know this. Scorpion will always have that. And that's another thing about the mechanics I did want to bring up, talk about that in a minute, which is that I don't like how each game is reinventing the wheel. And I actually I would rather have it, not MK11's. I felt MK9 probably had the best mechanics in the mechanics in any MK. But if I had Melina's, if I had Melina's mechanics in MK9 and MKX and MK11 in the same move sets, but had to work around the new mechanics of the game, I felt like that would have been better. But as far as the new player goes, like, how would you feel would be the best way, other than having a friendly and welcoming community, for a game to make a great function to help new players learn how to play?
I think they're doing a decent job.
Mm-hmm.
You just talking about like the tutorial, or you just talking about like basically single player content?
Mm-hmm. Because that's the biggest
Is
thing,
that is
right?
that
It's like you and I consist of like what 1.5% of the FGC.
right? Right.
The rest of the casual players, they're not playing online ranked. They're not going to locals.
Right.
You know.
Well, because like I think they're doing like I do think tutorials can be somewhat better,
Mm-hmm.
but I for like new players that that don't play just casually, I
Mm-hmm.
think they're doing a good job
Okay.
because like past game like Street Fighter Five,
Mm-hmm.
they they barely don't have any single player content. Like they got what story mode? That's what 5 minutes long.
And
But
Street Fighter Five had probably one of the worst releases of all time, dude. It
yeah,
was
it had
no
yeah
story mode. Yeah, there was
yeah
it took a while for Street Fighter Five to get back on its feet. Now it's in a, I mean, it's not in a good state now because of Street Fighter Six, but
right.
it
It's
took a
better than what
while.
it was.
Yeah, because
I was just say like I hear a lot of people say NRS basically they're the kings of solo content. Like
mhm.
because I think I was on heard another podcast
They definitely put the
Triple
most
KO.
money in. They definitely put the most money
Yeah,
into it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Like they got towers that cycle, every 24 hours, every hour. You could do your character towers that you can unlock, this sword or
Hmm.
this mask,
So do you
this
like that
totem.
system?
I do,
You do?
because
Okay.
sometimes bef- like I would like to grind to get my stuff. Like just
Okay.
don't give it to me outright. I guess that's my Warframe background coming up. But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Hmm.
I like that. Like
Okay.
like with Street Fighter Five, what did you have to do to get colors? You have to play survival mode until
Yeah.
like level 20. Like I'm not gonna sit here and go through survival mode. I would rather go, go to this tower and unlock, all these items,
Hmm.
or go over here and unlock all these items.
Hmm.
Like so I like the fit. Like it's basically just nostalgia for me. Like you know how you had to unlock that secret character. Like you have to go
Hmm.
through everything and unlock that secret character.
That's
That's what I'm getting from this.
that's what I'm doing in Deadly
You know what I'm
Alliance right
saying?
now. Like
Yeah.
you have to unlock, I think, like 1/3 of the cast.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like I believe that whole bottom row is like blacked out
It is.
in Deadly Alliance.
The
Yeah.
bottom 3 rows are blacked out.
Yeah. Like I like stuff like that.
Hmm.
DLCs kind of killed that, but I like how they still try to implement it by saying like instead
Hmm.
of a character, here go a shader, or here goes some size.
Hmm.
Like somebody like this game's been out for like what
2019.
19,
Hmm.
so 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
So and I played like I want to say December, and some dude was like, bro, I have never seen that nude mask before. I'm like, this game's been out for how long, and you still haven't seen all the items?
Hmm.
Like, I think that's pretty dope. Like,
So you
I
like the
would
gear?
like,
You like gear systems? You are not
yeah, I
gear
like.
system.
Well,
Okay.
not the gear, just the like the shaders. I don't want no like Injustice 2 gears,
Hmm.
which you unlock them, but it's the same exact like arm piece, but one thing is missing. Like I think that was
Mm.
whack. So
Yeah. See,
like I
I
like
didn't
how
like it at
they
all. Like
what the
I did not like the gear.
in
And
MK11.
yeah,
Uh,
I was not a fan. So here's the reason why. First, like, and it's a good segue into lore and to speak on the
mhm,
DLC part. So first off, if it was me and I got to make the decisions for
mhm,
NRS, let's hypothetically,
mhm.
if it was me, I would do what, because DLC is this is where we're at now. We're in
Right,
DLC era. You know, I think
right.
gone are kind of the days of unlocking content. I Street Fighter 6 is going to be doing it. I know that.
Mhm,
But
of
MK12
course.
probably going to do it because Mortal Kombat's all about unlocking content, which I
Mhm,
like. I like unlocking content. But I just, if what I like is the way that League of Legends does it, which is, if this was me and we're living in a DLC era, I would release a
mhm.
game with 16 characters. And
Okay.
every 2 months, I would release another character until you hit 40 characters. It would and you had to, and you would have to purchase that character for like $5. But along with that, I would also
Okay.
release skins because I don't like, I didn't like the gear. I didn't like, unlocking all the gear. Now that's just me. And I understand a
Okay.
lot of people really like that. There's a lot of people who are, completionists who like to do all the towers and stuff. I just found the towers
Right.
to be so repetitive. And
Mm,
our friend Tim, he did not like the towers at all because he's like, dude, I would have to work, and me too. I would have to work 10 hours a day. There are sometimes I couldn't get that gear
uh,
piece because I wasn't online during that time. So
I see what you mean.
yeah, the one thing that I really didn't like, this is probably the one of the biggest gripes I had, was ranked. I felt like the rank system.
The combat league that they came out with.
Okay, I like Combat League. I felt like
Okay.
it should have been 6 months to a year instead of 1 month. And then what would happen was, okay, you would get, you had to grind, you were talented, you got to Elder God, so you got that skin, okay, or that costume. 6 months
Mhm.
later, new Combat League, oh, they decided to take those costumes and put it on the bottom. And it's like, what was all that grinding for then? Like where there's no reward for that.
Um,
You know what I
oh, you
mean?
talking about like they made the so like say like they had like the Cassie zombie costume is that
Mm-hmm.
Elder God, and you got to get
Mm-hmm.
the Elder God to get there. But like the next cycle around, it's on
The bottom.
combatant. Now it's all the way at the
Mm-hmm.
bottom.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I
See,
see
I
what you're
didn't like I
saying.
didn't like that. No, and
Yeah.
also the way League of Legends does it is they have one season a year. At the end of the
Okay.
year, if you hit gold rank, and it goes like iron, bronze, silver, gold, all the way up to challenger, right? There, I think there's like 9 or 10
Hmm.
different ranks. If you hit gold,
Hmm.
which is the fourth rank, you were guaranteed to get the skin of that season. But I liked the idea that it was exclusive. It's kind of like what your boy was saying, like, oh, I've never seen that mask before. So
Right.
I can understand the gear part to it, but it was exclusive to people who hit that rank. So if I hit Elder God in that season and I got that costume
Hmm.
and nobody else got it, I was like, it was that was way more satisfying to me.
Okay.
Yeah. The,
Now we're going in like a different type of direction
mm-hmm,
because League is free to play, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's why I could see them, like releasing a character. You said every month.
When League first came out, it was every month.
Oh, okay. It was every
It was
month.
every month. Now it's
Okay.
like they haven't released a new character in probably 6 months now.
Like, was the
No,
newest
three
character
months,
the?
probably like 3 months. But take note, when League first came out, there was only 30 characters. Now there's
Uh-huh.
162.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's 162 characters. So what I that's or maybe I would do like 24 characters starting roster, and then
Yeah. See, I was saying because
Hmm.
That's free to play. If MK was free to play, I understand 16 characters at launch,
You make a
and then
point.
like,
Yeah,
hey,
you're
like
kind of
bam,
right.
bam. But then like, say if they do that, then they're gonna get the what the Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Like,
Hmm.
aren't these characters are in the game, but y'all haven't unlocked them? What are you doing?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I believe Cross Tekken, they had characters like DLC that was already embedded like in the game,
Hmm.
but they haven't put them out yet. But they're already on the disc. Like, you could play. Like, some hackers like got the full DLC characters and was playing with them, and
Mm.
then yeah, I think
Okay.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
But I see if MK was free to play, I would, yeah. Now,
You make a good
what
point.
if what if like,
Hmm.
say all your shaders are unlocked from the get go,
Okay.
all your shaders,
Okay.
but you only have a select few of gears and you have to unlock new gears.
Hmm.
Would you like that instead, or would that be like still too grindy? Or
It really depends on the grind. Like,
right. Well, no, I wouldn't say like
so,
the towers. Like, say, like, just for playing.
uh-huh.
You know how in Justice they gave you items just for playing. Like, you got ranked, and then if you win or lose, you still got a like an arm piece or a head piece.
Yeah, like a
Like, say you got that
it's like a participation trophy.
right. Like, say, what if we got that,
Hmm.
or what if they gave us a battle pass?
Yeah, I can agree with that. What I really like is the 3D air crypt. I liked
Oh
earning
yeah,
coins and going into the crypt, and especially this is the big thing. MK11 had a great crypt. What I didn't like was that it was randomized. Every box
yeah,
had something different, except
yeah.
for there's like the the gold chest, or it was the chest with Shao Kahn on the top of it. Like, those were all the same,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I didn't like how it was randomized. But if you go into Deadly Alliance
Then
and go to Tomb
then you have to
IV,
reset time.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I really like the crypt. I like the animation. I like all the puzzles and stuff like that. I thought that was a really great idea. Um, what I really, really hope they do is cut out. And this is a great segue into into lore. I really hope they cut out the story mode and implement conquest again, because I felt like conquest in the 3D era, particularly Deadly Alliance and Deception, more so Deception, was it taught you how to play the game and the mechanics and all the players, but also was a very intriguing and it was a very good story. Now, don't get me wrong, I wanted to say this about the story. I think Dominic and Sean Kittleson are great writers. However, the MKX and MK11, I think, would have been great stories if they weren't Mortal Kombat. So if
Oh, I say if it was just like a different IP, it would have
yes,
worked better.
I think it was,
Gotcha.
because
Yeah.
particularly, so Sean Kittleson and are great together, and Dominic. I can never pronounce his last name, and I
Hmm.
apologize. If he ever sees this, I apologize. I've always forget how to pronounce his last name. But Sean is a great universe builder. He's really good at that. Versus Dominic is a really good scene writer. He can write some really good scenes, and really emotional scenes too. And I really like that about them. But they just didn't take me back. Have you ever heard of the phrase uh what's called suspension of disbelief?
Yes.
Okay, so in that, like, I am, as an audience member, am making a contract with you, the writer, to suspend
Hmm.
everything I know is reality,
Right.
and you are going to take me into a world where this is the new reality for the time being. That's kind of the idea of it. Theatrically, that's what it is. And I didn't feel like they took me to Earthrealm or Outworld or Netherrealm. I didn't feel like I was going back into the world of Mortal Kombat with these stories. You know, so it's like
okay, yeah, I see
that's
what you're saying.
yeah. See, MK9 I did, and I was like, okay, and you know, and as campy as that story was, it's kind of like a WWE film. And even with like MK Deception too. I mean, Deception was had some of the worst voice acting I've ever heard in my life. But it was pretty bad. But
Yeah.
but even then I felt like, okay, you know, playing off of MK4 and MK Gold, then I went into Deadly Alliance and Deception and Armageddon. I still felt like I was entering the world of Mortal Kombat. MK9, I felt like I was doing that. With MKX, I didn't feel like I was going back into, you know, when I was watching the story, I didn't feel like I was in Mortal Kombat anymore. You know?
Yeah, because I think MKX and MK, some of MK11, because I think they're trying to revert back. Is like they try to make it more real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, that's why I
MK9,
didn't like it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You like they try to make it like more realistic instead of like taking away this fantasy world and try to make it more grounded and
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, and more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, some of MK11 because it looks like they was trying to go back in MK11,
Mm-hmm.
but it like they didn't like get all the way there because I'm pretty sure they knew they were just like, hey, we're going to reboot again.
Yeah.
That's what basically.
And there were
Like
some great parts. I mean, like for instance, like the Scorpion. I mean, I think we're past spoilers now. If you haven't watched the story,
right.
you're fine. But go back and watch the story. I'm going to give you 5 seconds right now to for a spoiler alert. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now is like the Scorpion death scene.
Mhm.
That was fantastic. I loved it.
I teared up.
Yeah,
I teared up.
exactly.
I teared up. I did. I
Yeah,
did.
bro. That was a great
Like
scene.
I was like, I have not like Mortal Kombat had never. I never felt like that
Mm-hmm.
in any type of Mortal Kombat.
Mm-hmm.
Like even when Liu Kang got his neck snapped,
Mm-hmm.
I felt a way, but it did not make me tear up. I think, and then seeing that Scorpion scene, I was like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
what in
Yeah.
the f?
Yeah. There
What is going?
see there were some great scenes, and I don't want to discredit those two writers because those were some pretty good scenes. But things like I hate to bring it up again, the Sindel retcon, like that was one of the worst rewrites I've ever seen. And I don't care if they don't call it a retcon, it's a retcon. I don't care what they say. I hated it.
See the MK community might hate me. I don't like it.
You're alone on that man. Yeah.
Well, it's because
Mm-hmm.
MK3. I mean, I'm a kid. I barely didn't until I got older and I read back on the lore and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But as a kid, I always thought she was like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
You were
always thought,
supposed
like
to. You were supposed to think like her.
right,
Yeah.
right. Like that's the Sindel I thought that that was like yeah, I'm going with him. He's way stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to do anything for me. Like that's who I thought she was until I
Mm-hmm.
went back and read up on it, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's actually like a real loving mother.
Yeah.
like
And
like she actually loves her daughter and she loved her husband and she did not love Shao Kahn at all.
mm-hmm.
I think it's just like I like it because that's what I always pictured. Like just basically, the Hella of MK, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
That's a good
yeah,
comparison. Yeah. No,
yeah.
and this isn't the first time because there was retcons and deception too. There was retcons in Deadly Alliance. There was they definitely switched.
There's a lot of retcons.
It is Mortal Kombat is probably one of the most least consistent stories. It is
I don't know.
horribly inconsistent.
Yeah. I mean, what the most consistent is what, Tekken? Throw your son over a volcano.
No, that's probably true. I mean, Heihachi should have died at least 4 times. But
oh my god!
For some odd reason, I'm not convinced he's dead now, to be honest. But it is consistent.
Yeah. I mean, Hachi's supposed to be, and then he comes back young.
He doesn't age ever. So
I'm like, didn't this man have white hair and no hair in the middle?
Yeah.
What's up with this? He looked like he's 25 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's besides the point. But yeah, I don't know, like I said, I'm probably alone. I know I'm alone, but I did like to Sindel retcon, because only reason I like it is because I feel like MK needed. I mean, we have Tanya, but Tanya is like she's just a traitor, like she's not that evil that evil woman. Like MK, I feel like we needed a low down evil woman just like Shao Kahn. And when they did that to Sindel, I was like, oh yeah, make her evil. That's what because that's what I pictured, and that's what I want. I wanted just like a evil woman that's beside Shao Kahn, or just like Shao Kahn. Like Chronica is not that. Chronica is not.
Chronica, to be honest, and that's another thing too. I'm just kind of over the whole. I'm just over time travel tropes in multiverse. I don't like it.
Better get ready.
Because
we're gonna get back into
it. I mean, to me, it's just a cop out, because it's like because there's no accountability for actions and decision making. It's like, oh, you make a bad decision, that's okay. I'm just gonna go back to the past and change it. Like, I don't like that. And I mean, like, MK is also inconsistent with that, because everybody who's died Jack, Sub-Zero, they've all come back to life, and they've died and came back, and so once someone dies, I mean, it's faced, I wish they had a consistent story where it faced the repercussions of someone's bad decisions,
But the saying goes, who really dies in Mortal Kombat?
It's Mortal Kombat. Who's really dead?
Like who's really dead?
Yeah,
I mean, Shinnok's head is still twitching and looking at you while you play.
It's true. It's true. You're right. It's very true.
Like who really dies? Yeah. I mean, for Shinnok, I kind of understand, because he's like a fallen elder god, so that makes sense. Like, yeah,
he's immortal.
But
so
Sonya, right? Exactly. Like Sonya, Jax, like their souls is in hell and got turned into revenants. I don't think that unless y'all go to heaven, take their souls up to heaven and do. But I don't think they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think there is. There even? I mean, is there even a heaven in Mortal Kombat?
I think the heaven is that area where you see Raiden talk to the elder gods. I think
because does everyone go to the Nether Realm?
Right?
Because if that's the case, then in MK9, when Sindel just comes and just massacres everyone, they all the good guys went to the Nether Realm.
They went to the Nether Realm because
Quan Chi.
Yeah, exactly. He was promised the souls, so he got the souls. I mean, that's a whole that's a whole nother debacle that
Right,
I
right,
don't want
right. Uh,
to go down.
I mean,
But
as far as lore goes, like yeah, like I said, it's I felt
well,
like go ahead.
for lore,
Mm-hmm.
I we still talking. Are we just talking lore in general or
Hmm.
MK11
In general,
in
yeah,
general?
because I don't want to pick on MK11 too much
Right.
because overall, I wasn't a huge fan of the story, but I also don't want to
Hmm.
discredit Dominic and Sean because I think they're great writers. I just
Okay.
in MK11, like I said, I was not taken back to the universe, and I hate using this as a and I'm sorry, I like using this as a reference. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Rings of
Okay.
Power did not take me back to Middle Earth. I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Okay.
The sequel series, the Rey saga, did not take me back to a
Mhm.
galaxy far, far away. It just did not feel like the same universe, you know.
Right.
And
Okay. Okay.
with MKX and MK11 and MK11's expansion, there was some good things. You know, I liked how important they made Nightwolf, and I like how the Scorpion scene and everything,
Hmm.
um and everything. I hated the time travel trope. I hated the fact that they're like bringing people back from the past to you know to help with the future, and I did it just didn't feel like an MK game to me. And
Hmm.
what I'm hoping for MK12 is kind of to perfect what they did in Deception. And the reason why Deception was so good and Deadly Alliance was so good was,
Hmm.
and this is going to be a weird comparison. It's like a late 2010s rom com, in that it's like if you ever seen like I think it's
No, that makes perfect sense.
it's like a lot of plot lines, like a bunch of different plot lines, but there's one overarching plot line, and they all have a piece to do with it.
Right.
Now it's just one overarching plot line. That's all there is special forces, and that's the other thing too. I hate special forces. I'm done with dude. I'm like, dude, let's go back to MK1 when it was a kind of an kind of the Asian themed martial arts tournament.
Well, I mean, we had a special force in there
Yeah, we had one.
though. Yeah, we had, well, it was supposed to be two, but
Yeah,
Jax did whatever
and Jax
he
came in
was
number
doing,
two. So I'm like,
and
okay,
then Jax came in number
I
two.
like that they have a very diverse cast. You had Kano, you had the ninjas, you had the Shaolin monks, you had the special forces. In MK11 and MKX, it was just special forces everything. Even the people from the even Takeda from the Shirai Ryu came and
Yeah,
joined the
yeah, he
special
was special
forces.
forces.
You know, so it was like it. I just didn't like. I'm just kind of like.
Look, like in the older game, like it was starting to come that way.
Mhm.
I see because Kenshi joined like what he joined in what Deception or was it Deadly Alliance or was he already
Deadly
part of it?
Alliance.
Deadly Alliance,
That
and
was his first
then
game.
Cyrax got uh I can't think of the word, but he became Special Forces,
Hmm.
and
Cyrax, I think he was. I'm
wasn't
pretty sure.
Cyrax like they reprogrammed him to like Jax reprogrammed him, and now he was a part of Special Forces.
I'm pretty sure he was a part of the Red Dragon Clan or the Black Dragon Clan. Cyrax was uh wait, Cyrax is red,
No,
right?
not Sector. No, no, that's Sector. That's
Yeah,
Sector.
Sector is in the
Cyrax is the
nether.
yellow.
He's in the nether realm, and Natara is trying
Right.
to help him get back.
No, no,
And
no. That's Cyrax. That's Cyrax.
okay,
Cyrax is yellow.
okay,
I know. Yeah, Natara's because I remember they she backstabbed
yeah. So
Reptile or something like that.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Cyrax
yeah.
is yellow. He's in the nether realm, and
Yeah,
Natara helps him, but Sector is red.
and he's with.
I'm pretty sure
No,
he's with,
did he start with the Kunin? Then I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not a I'm not a lore aficionado. I follow
No.
it, but I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
But it's good to, I mean, it's good because, it's good to, it's good to know,
Right.
because it's like, especially for so, we were talking earlier about about the single player content.
Hmm.
This is where I feel like Conquest did such a good job because it was an open world, um, not action adventure. I guess it was an open world explorer where
Hmm.
you could do random quests, but there's an overarching story, but you learned the individual stories. And I mean, if it wasn't for Deception, we wouldn't have Ashra. We wouldn't have,
True.
all the like understanding, like Ashra is trying, she's a demon trying to escape the Netherrealm using her Chris sword to kill demons to uh, purify her skull, her soul, to get
Yeah.
out. And then you go to the Netherrealm, so your soul is scarred. So you get out, and then you meet Nightwolf, who teaches you how to cleanse your soul. But we'll say, like,
Right.
there was so many good things that happened in Deception, and I feel like that's how I feel like they should, in the next installment. And I'm pretty sure Ed Boon tweeted about that. He said something about how they want to do something like a conquest mode again, and I feel like,
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
yeah.
Like
So
in one of the questions he posted.
mhm.
Yeah,
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 they were
yeah.
like, "Oh, do you want to bring back conquest mode?" And he pretty much said, like, "Yeah, we would like to do something like a conquest mode again." So I I I
I
I
mean, to be honest, they're kind of like with every game, they're like slowly getting back there, you know?
mhm.
Like MK9, how was the crypt in MK9? MK9 was you just walked around in first person, right? And like in
I'm
these
pretty
other
sure
areas
I'm pretty sure
in
MKX was
MK9.
where that started.
MK No, I think MK9 had it, but MKX like they like made it bigger. Like they
Mhm.
like you got to go over here, grab this key, blah blah blah, go there.
Oh,
And
you're
then
right.
MK,
You're right.
and then MK11, they basically made it like MK X, but now
Mhm.
you have a character, and
Mhm.
everybody thought this character was Rain because I for
I
sure
remember
thought it
that
was.
because he was purple. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, Rain is in the crypt.
Mhm.
But you know, and then they give you some lore in the crypt, like Kenshi's dead. Okay, and you go somewhere, you
Yeah.
see Ermac die, and like, why they make Ermac look so good and gonna kill him? But
Yeah.
like, I think like with every game, like the crypt is starting to become the conquest.
Mhm. So
Now,
go ahead.
what was that?
No, it's like I kind of hope that does. One thing I hope that they do bring back is, I like the way the crypt was done in 11, but I hope that they number it to where it's like, okay, if you want to get, uh Scorpion's concept art, you have to go to
Oh,
it's box number I7 in
yeah.
this graveyard or something like
Then
that,
you got to go all the way there. Like make it like make me have to run all the way there. Like make it let it be
Mhm.
a minute for me to get there.
But not just,
You
not,
know,
I
like
mean,
I
there's that, but there's that, like, okay, I will always be able to find Scorpion's concept art in this specific box, because
oh
in the
yeah, I see
MK11
what you're
crypt it was all randomized, and then you could
right.
re-randomize it. And I was like, I didn't like that because of, like I was saying earlier, I know for a fact in Deadly Alliance, if I want to unlock Frost, I will go to coffin number IV.
Right.
I will go to IV,
I
and
see
every
it.
time I will be able to unlock Frost. In um and I like unlocking concept arts. Some of my favorite art pieces in
Oh yeah.
MK, for instance, MKX, the Melina concept art. sometimes I'm just like, dude, why did that not end up in the game? You know,
Right? I'll be.
some of
Oh
her
my
costumes were
god.
freaking sick. But then
These. Oh
but then
yeah.
some of her like, and also like, you know, they call her waifu Melina because of, you know, they gave her lips, but the concept artist who did her uh you know, did her outfit and everything, it was great. And I was like, why didn't they make her mouth more like that? You know, she still had lips, but her teeth were a lot more jagged. They weren't all like rounded, and you know what I mean?
Oh.
Like
Oh the for MK11,
no MKX.
MKX.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, MK11, she looked like kind of traditional 3D era Melina.
I like how she look in 11.
Oh, you
I
okay?
do like. Yeah, like
I
Melina. Uh, like I said, like I think Melina is like, she's that evil, that evil woman
mhm.
that I've been wanting,
She's
and
wicked.
right,
Hmm.
like with the lips, I was like, yeah, y'all kind of. I mean, she is supposed to be sexualized, but
She's like a
I wanted to
succubus.
be. Yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
exactly. Like I wanted to be a succubus, but give me the mask. Give me the mask.
Hmm.
When she takes it off, she should look like no. She about to mess me up. Like
See,
no.
I always like the veil.
Oh, the
And
veil,
the
that
the
deception.
that was one of
Yeah.
my favorite costume designs, was the deception costume design. Yeah, and I like that as the veil. But yeah, that's kind of her character. And since we're talking, you know, since we're talking about that, because I mean, we kind of talked about lore, how, you know, I there was a lot of good in the lore, but there was also a lot of bad in the lore. Like, you know, to kind of conclude the lore section, in my opinion, I didn't like time travel. I don't like. I mean, they didn't do multiverses, but I don't like multiverses, and
Hmm.
I just wish it was. I just wish they didn't do time travel. I wish they didn't do retcon. I liked Sindel as the loving mother. I wish they didn't do retcon her. And uh but like, there was great things. Like, I liked how Liu Kang is now the new Raiden, essentially.
Right. That
And
that felt like that should have been. He should have been that like an X, but they had
yeah.
to make him work to get there, which I understand.
And then
But yeah.
I'm kind of hoping in the next game that Raiden's not there, because I could want Liu Kang to be that character, and I hope Kung Lao is now the new Liu Kang.
Well, Raiden got turned into a mortal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, as of now, it's just up to Liu Kang, right? Because he's like the time
It's
titan now, isn't
his
he?
new era, yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and Boone did
it's all up to
say
him.
and Boone did say that, if, you know, the next installment will be a continuation, it's not a reboot. He made it,
But my
but
question
mhm,
is it a continuation from the good ending or the Shang Tsung
yeah,
ending?
because if it's off the bad ending, we're just picking right where we left off. Everybody is alive. We got to fight Shang Tsung, and that was another thing I
Right.
didn't like, dude. Okay, they did first off, they did Frost dirty. Like, Frost is one of my favorite characters since Deadly Alliance. I
Hmm.
hated her design. I hated her story arc. I did not want her, like, I did not like what they did to her in that game. But
Yeah, I feel like Frost would not do the cyber initiative.
no, I don't think she
Uh,
would. I know that since Deadly Alliance and Deception, she has been secretly plotting to overthrow Kuai Liang. That was what she's been
right,
doing. I was kind of
right.
hoping for a redemption story, to where she did become Grandmaster because she learned how to put aside her ignorance and arrogance and learn from Kuai Liang. I was kind of hoping for that, but that's because I like happy endings. I that's because I like the good things to happen. I wanted Serena in the game. They didn't put Serena in the game. Like,
Oh,
what?
that's
You have
she's like one of the characters I've been wanting for forever
you had a character who
to
had
come
some
back.
of the most potentially best plot lines in the entire game. Why was Serena not in there is beyond me. There were so many good, and there was so much
Oh,
potential in there.
I mean, she wasn't. When I seen her in MKX, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
And she
she's
looked
going to
good.
be
She looked
DLC."
really good too. She was like,
Yeah,
they did, yeah,
I was like, "She is going to be DLC." They had Tanya in there. I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
Tanya." Then I saw her. I was like, "Oh!" And then they released Tanya. I was like, "Oh, where's Serena? Give me Serena."
yeah. And then she wasn't there, and you're just like, dude.
And then she wasn't there.
Then she wasn't there. Yeah,
She wasn't there.
it was kind of like,
And
do you
then this
remember?
game, I was like, she gotta come. She has to come. Y'all
And
showed her, y'all teased her in,
mhm.
and they teased Lee May. I was like, okay, y'all teased both of them. They got to be
Yeah,
in 11. No,
Lee May has a
no,
is a great character arc too. Why they didn't put her
yeah,
in the game is beyond me, dude. I didn't
like
like the way she looked in
didn't
MKX
she?
though.
Lee
Like,
May,
yeah,
yeah.
she's supposed to be like an 18-year
Wait,
old prodigy.
was Lee May in MKX or MK11? There was somebody else in MK11 that was in
Lee
there,
May was in MKX as a um she was in the story for like
right?
2 minutes,
And then there was,
but that's
and
it.
then did she come back for MK11?
No.
No, because I remember another character. It was a female character for MK11 at the boot camp stage in the story. It was like in the boot camp stage. I
Hmm.
don't know. Probably gotta look it up. I can't remember.
I'll have to
But
yeah, I'll have to look that one up.
yeah,
But yeah, I think there was just a lot of missed opportunity that should have taken place, and it's a fantasy game. I mean, it's fantasy. Like that's
right.
a yeah, that's kind of another great segue into character design, which was there's a lot of potential for the game, but I just it didn't take me back to the world of Mortal Kombat because it was too grounded in the real world. And with a lot of the character designs, now okay, first off, Scorpion and Sub-Zero is the best they've ever looked in that game.
And
In
MK11.
Oh yeah, dude, I've never
Oh
seen.
yeah.
Dude, Scorpion looks so sick. Noob Saibot
I
look.
when I first seen Scorpion's costume.
Mhm.
Scorpion's my favorite MK character of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I'm well aware.
I'm a casual.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
saw him, I was like, "Oh my gosh, he
Mhm.
he looked like a ninja.
Oh yeah,
Like
the
he
hood. He's
looked
hooded. Yeah.
like exactly like he looks like a complete ninja." And I was like,
Hmm.
"Yes." And then Sub Zero, he looked like a Chinese because of the
The
like a
hat.
regular Chinese warrior. Yeah,
Hmm.
the hat. I was like, that's what I like to see. Like, put some
Yeah.
culture back into this. Put some
Hmm.
culture into this. Like, what? Like I was hoping that we would get like a Latina lady up in here or something and see some dope, but we didn't get
Yeah.
that. And
Well,
then
I
they
mean,
get
speaking on that, I was never a huge fan of Jackie Briggs, the character, but Jackie looks sick.
yeah.
And I liked her,
MK,
I liked her Muay Thai stance and how they implemented that. I thought that was super cool.
they did her so dirty in
Hmm.
MKX. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
I was like, y'all gave this woman just cornrows. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Give her something else.
Yeah.
And then, like, they said she was like an Olympic level kickboxer, but we never seen it. She was just shooting guns.
Hmm.
And then in this, they finally showed it to us. And I was like, okay, I like where this is going.
Yeah.
They're actually showing us, like, yeah, we told you.
Hmm.
They basically, that's like, we told you she was a kickboxer. See, look.
Hmm. And
But yeah, Jackie grew on me in them Cadillacs.
yeah, I liked I thought they could have made her a little bit. I think they could have changed her up a little bit in the story. I don't know why. It's just, there's just something about her I didn't. that I didn't like in the story, because she was such like a side character that
True.
they could have made her a little bit more important than Cassie Cage's friend. You know,
True.
particularly
Cassie
being
Case's friends and Jack's daughter.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. Considering she's Jax's daughter, she could have been way more important.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I thought they could have did her a little better. I thought Cassie Cage was a decent character in MKX, but I thought she looked really good in MK11. I didn't like her character design in MKX, but then Sindel I thought was one of the best looking characters in the game. Yeah, I actually really like Sindel, the way she looked. Sindel,
and then they
Noob Saibot looked freaking sick. That was one of the best I've ever seen Noob Saibot look too.
When I seen Noob, that also made me tear up.
just seeing
his whole trailer. Yes. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my, because I didn't see.
They almost botched that trailer. Do you remember that?
Right. Yes.
When they accidentally showed him.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, you didn't? I watched it live, bro.
I like turned. No, I watched it live too, but I turned away, and then everybody was like, "Oh!" I was like, "What happened? What happened?" And then they showed the trailer. I was like, "Oh,
yeah." Someone messed up really bad.
Yeah,
like, someone messed up. But
I didn't see that. Like, I was like, "What happened? What happened? What did they show?" And then they showed the trailer, and then I got to meet the voice actor of Noob Saibot.
Really?
Yes, and he gave me $200 because I won a tournament with Noob Saibot.
Oh, that's sick. That's sick.
It was actually pretty. Like I got it all on video, but yeah, it was dope.
You're like,
I was probably one of
like what? He's like, here's $200. Thank you for using my character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was at SAC Anime, and he comes in because we're about to start the tournament, and he comes in and says, like, you hear people saying, "This is the voice of Noob. This is the voice of Noob," and he's like a skinny, like super skinny white boy. Okay. And I'm like, that is not Noob. That is not Noob, because the way Noob's voice sounds does not. The picture that I got was not him.
You know what? That happens so much, dude. Like, one of my favorite voice actors of all time is Steve Blum. He does the voice of gosh, what's his name? Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I forgot he does. Did Kevin Conroy do Sub-Zero, or was that Steve Blum?
I
think it was Kevin. I could be here. I'm gonna look that up. I'm pretty sure that's Kevin Conroy.
Steve Blum. Oh, he does a lot of anime.
Oh, he does like all the anime. Yeah, he did Sub-Zero. Ambo Raicho.
And the Revenge, Scorpion's Revenge. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite voice actors too. But what's funny is I was watching a voice actor work in the studio. Now I've seen I forgot the guy's. I'm drawing so many blanks right now. Who does the voice of Goku?
Oh, just saw him like
Steve something, right?
Ago. Yeah, Steve something.
Definitely not the girl. Sean Schimmel.
Sean, that's what it was. I know it starts with that.
Yeah, Sean Schimmel. Like, I've watched him do the yelling because he talked about passing out doing all the yelling.
Oh yeah.
But I did watch recently, and the voice actor actually like liked my post on Twitter when I said like I've always wanted to watch voice actors actually like work, especially doing like anime scenes. And it was funny because this guy must have been like probably like 5'8" to 5'10",
Mm-hmm.
skinny white kid. And he was doing one of the most like intense characters like in this thing, and he was like, you know, I want to train to become like you, so I created my own top secret workout routine. And he's like, and he's unbuttoning like
Right.
in the studio. He's like unbuttoning himself, and he's like, it's doing all the grunts and the deep breathing when you're running. And I was like, dang, that they get into it, but it's like his voice did not match the character at all. Like
Right.
I didn't hear that, so
Mm.
it was that happens a lot.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I asked him, I was like, you have to say something in as a noob, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe you. And then he said, one of Noob's lines, when he comes in one of the intros,
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I almost blacked out. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is really Noob.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Oh,
It's like,
this is not
hello,
what I
brother.
picked. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, I was like, what the? This is that is you are not what I pictured. And he also voices some Zelda character who's like super famous for. I forgot who
Like
it is. Like
Ganondorf or something.
no, it was like a bird character. I forgot.
I played Zelda, and I probably haven't played Zelda since the Ocarina of Time. Or Twilight Princess was the last Zelda I played.
Yeah, I think it was. What's the newest one? The Win something. I don't know,
Um,
but yeah,
yeah.
he was part of. He did that, and I was like, wow,
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
you're talented
Mm-hmm.
because I heard some of his work, and I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds nothing like.
Yeah.
And we asked him where he got the voice from, and he said he got it from. They said they wanted it to be like a dark, deep voice, and he said, well. Then he went in there and he said, I thought of Claw. I was like, Claw. And then
Mm-hmm.
he's like, Claw from Inspector Gadget. I was like, oh my God. Now I hear that every time I hear Noob talk, that's all I hear is Claw from Inspector
Yeah.
Gadget.
Oh, dude, the wind's starting to pick up, bro.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, at least where I am. So I'm hearing it out. That's why I like went like that, because I was like hearing the wind start to pick. Oh, this
Mm.
storm's brewing. Apparently, it's supposed to be like the storm of the century.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great way into the segue. Because lore. So we talked about mechanics, talked about lore.
Well, hold on, one more lore.
Okay.
They started to get back to it in MK11. Like, I just want them, please write the female characters good.
Okay. So
Like
how do you feel
that.
they've been bad,
Well, I feel
or
like,
what would you like to see
well,
different?
I guess it's MK9 that I'm thinking of because I feel like Katana was just like a walking doormat for pretty much the cast,
Okay.
and like
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
yeah,
she was.
like that's basically, well, that's, I would say, Chun Li. That's your Cammy, I would say, because
Katana.
Sonya would be, yeah, because Sonya would be the Chun Li because she's the first,
Yeah.
and then Cammy came, so Katana.
Hmm.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, I just felt like it's starting to get back, and then they kind of backstabbed her with her mom being purely evil, and
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then, but like, I just need, like, if the female characters was written like good, I'm not how can I say it good? I'm gonna say, yeah, the female characters like were written better. I'm not gonna say good because
Hmm.
In 11, it looks like they was like working to it, like making them better.
Hmm.
Like I just need them to get like better because some of the female characters, if they like got some better writing,
Hmm.
these some of these games like would be way over the top. Like I
Yeah,
do good with,
because
and
they
then
they had really good writing in 3D era.
yeah,
Katana was really good. Sindel was really good. Jade was really good.
mhm,
Jade's always been Katana's friend. She's
right.
in the same way
She's the
that
best friend,
yeah, in the same way that kind of Jackie was to Cassie. So she's
but like in now we barely feel that. Now
mhm.
Jade is basically like who's Katana to Jade? Who's
Yeah,
Katana? Who's Jade to Katana? Like they're like Jade is now Kodokan's girlfriend now instead of being Katana's best friend. Like I'm gonna
yeah.
need y'all to give Jade like what she deserves. Jade has been in here for a while, and I
Hmm.
feel like she haven't got her justice. Like she needs gameplay wise, she got her justice, but
Yeah,
story wise, I don't
she was
feel like
great in gameplay.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree with
like
that.
story wise, I don't feel like she haven't she just haven't got that oomph for me yet.
So
You know what I'm saying? Like I
yeah,
I love Jade, but
I
I feel like
liked
she hasn't got what you know. What am I trying to say?
I really liked how Jade was like had a love interest in Kodal,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I did like that too.
I liked it, but I didn't like one, they didn't explain it, at least not very well.
Yep,
And
yep,
they but then they took away from Katana and Jade's friendship.
right.
They took that away,
Like like they
you
was
know?
basically sisters, and
Yeah,
now they just feel like
they were best
second
friends.
cousins.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they like, oh, it's like, I'll see you at the next family reunion. It's like,
right. Like, oh,
yeah.
hi, you're here now. Okay, all right,
Hmm.
bye.
And
Like,
see, I felt I agree with you.
mhm,
I did like how they wrote Katana
mhm,
because
yeah,
she straight up
yeah,
killed Shao Kahn,
right.
and became Khan. Um, I felt like they also dismissed a lot of the characters' personalities, because I like the way that they wrote in MK11's Katana, and but I didn't like the way they wrote in Jade,
Right.
for all the reasons we just said. I
Yeah.
absolutely despise the way, dude, what is with the focus on my camera? It keeps like focusing out, and I'm like, nothing's in front of it. I hated the way they wrote in Melina, because Melina has always
Uh,
been a succubus, like
right.
playful, sexual, lure you in with my
Yeah.
body and my sexuality. And then
Mm,
and then MK11 comes around, MKX comes around, and suddenly she's like a failed con. That
yeah.
doesn't make any sense at all, because she's basically a failed con who is overthrown by Kotal Khan and betrayed by Reptile in Ermac.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm like, she should have never been a con. There's no reason to make that character a con. you know
Right.
um and I can see her doing things like, I thought she was really well done in the MKX comics, because she was doing all those things. She was seducing Reiko.
For a reason. Right.
Yeah, and everything, but I felt like MKX started taking Melina away from her design,
Hmm.
which is that character. um who else?
I I
Go ahead.
think for Melina, they should have just left her dead in it in 11.
I would have been fine with that, absolutely.
I when I saw that trailer and I saw
Hmm.
her, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Y'all caved. You caved.
Yeah. And
Like no, yeah, they should have left her dead,
they should have.
and
I
they
would have
should
been
have gave
fine with
us
that.
Serena.
Yeah. I would have. Give me Lee
Or
May.
somebody else.
Give me Serena.
Lee
Give me Lee
May.
May. Give me
It was
Ashra. Give me
like
Ashra. She's one of my dude. Ashra has so much in. You've heard of Fourth Snake, right?
yeah,
Potential. You know his phrase.
yeah,
She had so much potential. Ashra did. Natara. Give me Natara. Dude, Natara is such a good
Natar.
character, dude. That would have been freaking
Yeah,
sick.
give us Natar and expand on what is it called? Veternus. Like let us know
Yeah,
about
her
Veternus
realm.
more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we we need I can imagine Natara,
Mm-hmm.
but then she actually turns to that bestial vampire.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like in the fatalities and moves or something.
dude.
I say she has a command gland
We talked
and
about
she just sucks your blood. Give a
yeah,
little yeah.
in the same way as Melina does. I mean, Melina bites your neck,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
bro.
Well, now she just stabs you in the face.
And we talked about Serena. Like Serena is like that'd be sick to like. I started writing a fan fiction. I need to go back to that because I was having a lot of fun writing it. But it was how Serena got out of the Nether Realm and actually became a part of the Lin Kuei, and how they were teaching her how to control her demon form. And I'm like, dude, how sick would that be to have Serena,
Lin Kuei
be
training and yeah.
you have Lin Kuei, but also they're teach how to control her demon form so she can like transform. Dude, that would have been sick. That would have been so cool. Dude, so much potential. But yeah, onto character design and stuff like that. It's like, and that wind is picking up quick. So I have my wife has like decorations on the front door and stuff, and so I'm hearing it slam against the door.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the guys don't have this problem, and it's there was a couple like and we've always liked the guy character. Like I liked Baraka's design in MK11. But if you look at Baraka, dude, for him to achieve that physique, you would have had to work out for 10 straight years of doing nothing but powerlifting or steroids. I mean,
right.
Do something like that.
I mean,
the guys don't have that problem. But that's they in MK11, dude, they nailed the male characters. And I can understand that I can understand that during 2000 and 2017 through when they were developing the game, I can understand the culture at the time. They're the character designs were probably not. They're trying to be not so offensive to women, and I can understand that. But my thing wasn't like I didn't like the argument. I hated the argument of like, oh well, the guys are shirtless. It's like why don't you you can sexualize the guys, and I was like, it doesn't work like that because we're because of the difference, but because there's differences in that, but with the girls, what in the way a friend of mine pointed it out was like the moment you made the characters more realistic and gave them realistic body proportions and realistic costumes, you took the fantasy element out of Mortal Kombat. But one of my favorite designs is actually the MKX tournament katana costume.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite one too.
Dude, that was a sick costume. Now I'll admit
that's like her that's like her MK9, but it's a little better.
Exactly. And that's the thing. MK9. Okay, so you had MK3. Everyone can agree MK3 had really good designs. MK2 had really good designs.
For the females?
And the males too. I mean, some of the best designs were in there. Like, but I think 3D era had great designs. I think Lee May's kimono design was amazing. Natara's design in costume was really good. Melina had probably one of the best outfits I've ever seen. And I never liked Katana's outfits, but her design with the hair. Serena's MKX design was great, but MK9, I'll admit, they just flew off the handles with the sexuality, like way overboard. MKX, they started to tone it down, but like giving Melina pants was weird.
Started to tone it down? No, they turned it down. They in MK9 they went to 100. MK 10 they went all the way down to 25.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Like they was making it like MK9 is basically the anime version of the female character.
Yeah,
and then
and honestly, the only character that made sense in MK9 was Melina.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be like sexual, like
she's supposed to be, you know. And
right.
I mean, like as a guy, I you know, it's I liked looking at. I like those characters. I like the costumes. You know, I like the way.
Right. I mean,
just like the guy character, I like the way Baraka looked. I like the way Jax looked. You know, they were.
I would use costume 3 Melina just to have a smaller hitbox and never get touched.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't want to bring up that old, you know, because the character designer, I thought it was in poor taste to say, oh, they're going to fight for their, you know, for the death. They're going to fight to the death. They need to be armored. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of in poor taste to say, because it's like, yeah, of course, the guys are also going in too. But it wasn't so much that, you know, it's like they need to be equal. It's just the fact that you're making it too realistic in a game that is supposed to take away reality. You know?
Yeah.
So I want to see those characters. Like I said, the tournament MKX Katana outfit was pretty near perfect.
Right.
For that.
Yeah, that one was nice. I like that. And
you know, don't get me wrong, like MK11, Sindel that's the best I've ever seen Sindel look.
Oh yeah, Sindel, yeah, she looked amazing.
Yeah, her costumes, her design, her makeup, her hair, she looked great.
Even the Revenant costume. I know some people don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, even that one.
Like,
I agree. Katana looked good too.
I was about to say,
I actually like the way Katana looked.
What, 11?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like her too.
Yeah, I like Katana's.
Like some people, I remember people was like mad because she looked too. What was it? Chinese?
Well, she had a Filipino.
Like they were saying Filipino. That's what it was. She looked too Filipino. I was like, well, that's her.
Her name is Katana.
That's her face actress. Like y'all.
Yeah. No,
like I mean,
so
they're actually putting culture into these. I like them putting culture because I like how Street Fighter. You know how they always had the flags. I always like stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
like
dude.
Tekken, they had everybody, no matter where you was at, they always speak in their native tongue, and that's like stuff like that. I love it.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love it.
But this is the thing too, dude. We got to get rid of the American mentality of trying to be offensive, because if like Dalsim should be the most offensive character ever created.
Dalsim, DJ,
dude, you go to India, they love Dalsim.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, dude, wow. I'm from Yuba City, bro. All my Indian friends, dude, they love Dalsim. We used to go. I
mean, he's like the first Middle Eastern, isn't he?
He's Indian.
Like character in the fighting. I mean, yeah, Indian.
Yeah.
Indian character in the fighting game, right?
Mm-hmm. But but
Yeah.
he's stretchy arms, blowing fire with shrunken heads around. He's Indiana Jones, bro. Like he's Temple of Doom Indian, and is like if you he should be an
Like
offensive
hyper
character,
offensive.
bro. It's
Yeah.
like in
I mean, that's like Deadly Alliance Jax alternate costume.
mm-hmm. Oh,
I know
with the
people.
chains
Yeah, yeah.
in the
I know some people
did he have a
hate
do
it.
rag or a backwards hat?
I think it
He,
was both, to be
dude,
honest.
he
I
looked
think he had a.
like a 90s R&B. He looked like a 90s rapper, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I loved it.
Yeah. See,
I'm like, oh
I
my.
can't speak for that, but it's like you saw it and you loved it,
Right.
you know?
It's like, I don't know. Like, people that think that's offensive, it's not actually offensive to the person it's supposed to be offensive to. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like I don't want to stick too much on the subject and everything like that because
Yeah.
it's like, but it's just this whole American mentality of the character designs. It's like I remember the big thing about Jade being black. I'm like, Jade's always been black for one. She was originally
Right.
designed as in MK all the way back in MK2. Dude, she was originally
Mm-hmm.
that way. But they're like, you know, she of course she's not like earthly or American black, but
Right.
she has culture, she has identity, you know, and I like that. And I'm like, you know, Adenia is probably it's another Earth. There's going to be different
Right.
parts of Adenia. Some of them are going to look, you know, Asian. Some of them are going to look African. Some of them
Right.
are going to look white. Some are going to look like even Rain.
Right.
Rain was like Middle Eastern or looking, Middle Eastern looking.
Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
that Rain's design was freaking sick. I liked Rain's design,
I
but
loved Rain.
dude,
How
Rain
they
looked so
made him.
freaking sick, dude.
Yeah.
That was
Rain.
sick.
Like I said, the culture that they put in every single
Hmm.
character,
I was
like
so
I
down with that, bro.
like when I seen her Scarlet speak and she was Russian, I was like, "Excuse me."
Hmm.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, that's freaking dope.
yeah.
But yeah, and then
They gave
like,
Scarlet really good personality. Like she
yeah,
was
very
creepy.
good
She was
personality.
creepy as all hell, bro. She was like,
Oh, bro.
dude. It was like that was good. I liked how they
Oh,
did that.
yeah.
But
She. Some people don't see it as a glow up for Scarlet, but I think Scarlet
mhm,
had a big glow up in
mhm.
MK11.
She did. I liked Scarlet's. I liked Scarlet's design. A lot of people wanted the MK9 design, which I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Too.
Oh,
Mainly because she was not wearing anything at all.
nothing. But I
Yeah.
wanted that, which we did get it later on. But
Hmm.
I wanted the comic design, which we got for a
Oh, with the
DLC later on. With
yeah.
yeah, that's I wanted
That's
that to be her default. That's what I wanted.
that I think should have been when I played when I excuse me whenever I play Scarlet I use the comic design.
Yeah,
I think
yeah, so
that's a
do
good
I.
design. Yeah,
Yeah,
I really do. But yeah, I think that we swung really far in MK9 and then swung a little too far back in MKX. Even though
yeah.
there's a couple of a couple of good ones like the Molina's
Mm-hmm.
Vampiric Molina. I thought that was a good design.
Imperial, yeah.
I thought that was like really well done. And
What is the other? I like the what is it? Jindo, Jindu.
oh, Jingu.
The other
Hmm.
Jingu.
Jingu.
I like Jingu Katana.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jingu was kind of sick. And
I,
by the way, I wish Disney would take notes on that one because okay, we talked about you have like Mulan.
right.
The story of Jingu, however you pronounce it,
Hmm.
that's a freaking sick story. If you ever get a chance, look up that story because it is a true story of I think I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's a Japanese warrior princess.
Oh, for real?
It's a true story.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I mean, we're talking, we're making up, not making up, but we're making stories on Mulan and Pocahontas. I'm like, bro, look up Jingu.
Right.
Like that was a freaking
Okay.
a Japanese warrior princess. Like there you go.
Yeah, I don't even think they don't have no Japanese princess yet, do they?
Mm-mm.
They sure don't. Yeah.
Mulan's Chinese, but no, they don't have the Japanese. But I
Right.
mean, I'll give them a little credit because Disney was producing most of uh Miyazaki's films.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
studio Ghibli.
Yep.
Yeah, they were producing all in America. But yeah, it's like the character
Okay.
designs. Guys don't necessarily have that problem. I mean, um, you know, for
Uh.
obvious reasons. I mean, there are some pretty bad ones. But I want to say this too:
Yeah.
is MK11's Jade, her culture and her character design, I really, really, really liked. Her costume
Mm-hmm.
design, I hated. I did not like her
The
costume design.
costume.
Mm-mm. I did not like
You
her
like none
costume
of them?
design. Mm-mm.
Uh, not even the classics.
The class, well, yeah, because they're the classics. But
Really? Okay.
I really liked Jade's 3D era costume design, which with
Oh,
the two buns.
the pigtails.
Mhm. Like I always thought that was a really cool
Yeah,
design. I
that's
wish they would have brought something like that back. You know, I didn't like the hood. I thought the
yeah.
hood was kind of silly, but you
I
know,
like the hood. That's the silk one. Yeah, I like the
mm.
silk one. I did like the silk one.
I
It's
thought the witch costume was cool, but that's about it. That's about it.
that it was great. I like the silk because she's supposed to be like the stealthy the actual ninja of the
Mm,
of the of the girl fighters. Like
Katana
so
is
they
too.
just
All of them are supposed to. I think Melina, Katana, and
they
Jade are all supposed to be the stealthy, more agile.
yeah, I was just saying because Jade, like in the store, she's actually like sneaking around,
Mm-hmm.
going over here, like blending in with the shadows basically, and just
Mm-hmm.
following like that's what I
Yeah,
meant. But yeah, that's I'm trying to think of a guy that I didn't like in
that you did not like.
MK11. Yeah, and I can't think of one to be honest. Like I like Kano. They
Mm-hmm.
made him Kano.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah, he was very.
Raiden's okay. Like I don't have nothing good or bad to say about Raiden.
Yeah, because they did a lot of the guys' character designs and costumes really good. I will say this about Katana, real quick about Katana and Melina. This is one of the first times I've seen Katana and Melina have the same likeness, which I really liked because she's supposed to be she's literally supposed to be a
Supposed to be
clone.
a clone, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the first. Someone posted a picture on Twitter recently where they put up two costumes that are similar of one of Katana and one of
Hmm.
Melina, both with the same mask on, and it was literally two katanas. The only way that you can tell the difference is because of Melina's eyes. But
But that's how it always it was. Remember, like she had
mhm.
them. She had the Tarkatan eyes.
Yes, or
Yeah.
yeah, or dragon eyes or
I
something like
bel-
that. Yeah, but
It
I mean
was
that was the
was
first
that
time.
later?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and with the guy costumes, like that's it's hard because they did so good.
Like Nightwolf looked dope. Nightwolf looked dope.
Except for the bicycle helmet.
Shane, the
Nightwolf
bicycle
looks
helmet.
sick, except for the helmet. Like, do away with the helmet.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kodo looks freaking sick.
I like Kotal. I like Kotal.
Mm-hmm,
Baraka looks dope. So,
mm-hmm.
like, I mean, some of the gear, like made his spines look kind of crazy, but
I didn't like the mask. It was a gear piece. You didn't have to have it, but I didn't like how he had like the masks. That was kind of weird. I didn't like the mask on
like
any of them. Even
okay,
Melina and Katana, I didn't like when they covered their face. I understand like actual like the actual mask like over their mouth and nose, I wish they would have given Melina a veil, but every time that they had you completely cover their face, I didn't like that at all.
For Melina, I always use I think it was like the white mask with like the red lips.
Mm, yeah.
That's the one I always use for Melina. That's a nice
And for Melina,
one.
it's the only one that makes sense because she's trying to literally look like Katana.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
So, but I'm trying to I am too also trying to think of like, because Johnny Cage was one of my favorite character designs in the game, because to me he looked way more like a dad than an actor.
That's a good.
he, he looks like my cousin. I'm not gonna lie. Like whatever face actor they use, he literally looks just like my cousin. And I was like, dang, is that Matt? It's like Matthew's on Matthew's on the screen. But yeah, and but like that was one of my favorite things about the lore. I really liked how like this is where Dominic really, whether it's Sean or Dominic really shows is, I really liked how like 90s action actor Johnny and the way they bicker, they don't even bicker, I'm sorry, but the way that like do you remember the one scene where Johnny Cage was like, you know, that he was explaining to his younger self like, oh, that's going to be your wife, pointing at Sonya. And he goes, "Oh, I'm gonna get with." He's like, "I solemnly swear to tap that." How everyone just stops and looks at him, and Johnny just looks at himself and like grabs himself by the ear. Dude, that was one of the best scenes written in that story. Dude, that was so fun. I was dying laughing when I saw that. But gosh,
I'm looking at the cast now.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah. Like the guys I like the only one that I probably wouldn't like is probably
You
it'll
can
probably be Raiden.
you know, Honeybee is probably gonna hate this. You can get rid of Devora. And please, you can completely get rid of Devora, please.
That is a tough one.
I'm not a fan.
That is a tough one. I just like because she's super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of like an insect. I liked her, but I do see like the only way I say if we keep her, show her in her realm, like show us others. I know like in MKX and MK11 they was all gone and she was the last, but I would like to see her in her own environment.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's characters like her and Collector that
Collector could be swept off the face of this earth. Like
but I feel like he needs to be there.
Reason to be in this story.
I know.
They basically showed him off to be like, yeah, Shao Kahn took over another realm.
He was
basically cool. Oh, it's going crazy now.
Yeah, I didn't like Collector. And that goes by the way, that kind of goes to show a little bit on that. Cabal, I did not like Cabal at all. I didn't like I liked his mechanics and I liked his gameplay, but I did not like the way he looked. And I really don't like the way they did him in the story, because I like the idea of in MK9. I really liked Cabal as like kind of like a reformed cop. You know, he used to be in the Black Dragon clan, and then he, you know, had this coming to Jesus moment and became a cop. You know, I like that idea. I thought that was really cool. Now they made him a bad guy, and they also made it. I didn't like that at all.
If they made MK9 Cabal as
the primary storyline.
No, I was gonna say like, and gives MK11 Cabal's personality to MK9's Cabal. I would like it. I would like it a lot better.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Like I like the personality of MK11, but I do like the story of MK9.
Yeah,
Or
I like the quippy little, arrogant Cabal. Like
yeah,
that was kind of cool.
like like uh like the movie Cabal. That was a good Cabal.
Hmm. No, yeah,
Anything in that movie that was a good Cabal.
yeah.
That
But it's hard to look because the character designs. I'm looking at all of them right now, and it's like all the characters designs were actually like they weren't they weren't they were really good.
yeah, it was
I
all
had
pretty
my
good.
beef. I have a couple of, I would change things for sure in a lot of them,
Yeah,
particularly in Melina, Frost, Sonya, but Shiva especially. I would definitely change Shiva. But I
what
thought
do you do
such
to Shiva?
I'd just make her more like I would just make her more like MK9. Or
Oh, okay.
I would make her more like MK3 Shiva, which is same. The MK9 and MK3 Shiva are the same. But I hated Frost design. Witten Frost is one of my favorite characters in the game. But I thought Cassie's design was pretty cool as well. I just, like I said, it's just they just made him way too realistic.
Yeah,
And I just didn't like that. So
yeah, they made more. I like
yeah.
that she had like a little drone. I was like,
Oh
oh, that's
yeah,
pretty nice.
Cassie and is like her little pet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool.
like I like that. That
Hmm.
was nice.
But that was the thing about the character designs and why is, I mean, I wanted to do this first in the podcast, and the reason why is because this isn't necessarily a hill I'm willing to die on, and I'm also gonna talk, Temp and I are gonna talk about that more in a later episode. But it's like it's important because you can have Collector as the most OP champ. I will win every single match ever if I play as Collector. But if I don't like the way that person looks, I'm not going to play him.
Yeah,
That's just how I am. So it was like
true.
I didn't want to play Shiva because I didn't like the way Shiva looked. I didn't want to play Frost is one of my favorite characters, and I don't want to play Frost because I don't like the way Frost looked. Nightwolf, on the other hand, has never looked better, and he was one of my mains.
Yeah.
So it was like, of course I'm going to play. Scorpion.
Revenant.
Scorpion has never
Yes.
looked better. Dude, Scorpion looks so good. So I was like, dude, I am 100% playing Scorpion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he looks. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, when they first showed that trailer with him versus Raiden,
Mm-hmm.
I damn near fell to the floor.
Bro, it was like, dude, that was one of the best openers too.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
the way they announced it. But yeah, man. So yeah, we covered mechanics, we covered lore, we covered a little bit of marketing, and finished off with some character designs, likes and dislikes, and any final thoughts on because I told you that, like the main thing that I wanted to stick to was the successes and failures of the past games and what you would like to see implemented in MK12. So your final thoughts, what would you like to see implemented into, like, what is going to make this the perfect Mortal Kombat for you?
So me and my friend Dad, we talk about this a lot.
Okay.
So we came up with we want it to look like MK11,
Mm-hmm.
like look and but play like a mixture of MKX and MK9.
Okay.
So basically, like the explosiveness, like what of MKX, like
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, you could get high damage and blah 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 blah. Because pretty much that's where all the games are going now. Like if you look at these new games, Guilty Gear, you do a DP, you're dead.
Yeah, bro. No,
Yeah.
I'm not a Guilty Gear player, but I can respect the hell out of Guilty Gear players, bro. You make one mistake,
Yeah.
life done, dude. You're done. DNF duel
Like,
done.
yeah,
You
you're
make
done. And if you're in Dean of Duel and I have Awakening, yeah, you're
yeah.
dead.
This.
Like I like how that's going for like the way that these new fighting games are going. Like,
Mm-hmm.
big damage if you mess up. If you mess up, that's on you, and you're about to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So since you messed up, I'm finna get this, this big combo,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can see how it is. But yeah, like that's what like we will. I love the wave dash. Some people don't like it, but I like it because it
Mm-hmm.
actually takes like a little bit of skill to do,
Mm-hmm.
and once you get it down, it's pretty easy. Um, what would make it the best Mortal Kombat? Take away breakaways. Give me breakers. That's it.
Give me combo
Take
breakers
away.
back, bro. Yeah.
Yes, give me breakers.
Mm-hmm.
No more Fallouts. I
Mm-hmm.
hate it. Number one reason why I hated Fallout because in the beginning, of course I'm a Scorpion player, and then when I do Spear, they fall out, and I'm sitting there with my hand out, and I'm about to get a full combo.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't like that at all.
How did you feel about Scorpion Spear? Like, okay, in every Mortal Kombat ever, if you land a spear, you get a free combo. How did you feel about the Scorpion Spear? And the only way to stun an opponent was by EX special.
Um,
Did you feel that was justifiable?
I I could I kind of didn't like
Mm-hmm.
it, but I also
I didn't like it.
I yeah I didn't like it,
Mm-hmm.
but I,
Like,
I I was okay with it because I played Injustice One Scorpion, and that's exactly what you had to do
yeah.
to get a combo.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not. When I first seen it, I was like, why do I have to meter burn the spear
Mm-hmm.
to get this full combo? But Sub Zero's over here doing 50% damn
Yeah.
near, and he doesn't have to meter burn nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is not fair.
Yeah.
But
Didn't
I
they end? They
see
they fixed that though, didn't they?
what?
With Sub-Zero's freeze.
No, he can still freeze
He doesn't have to
meterless.
special his freeze, but
Nuh-uh.
yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have. And then we have Cabal who gets a free run
Mm-hmm.
for a combo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cabal, and then Kung Lao gets a free combo. So it's basically
Mm-hmm.
like everybody else that had like a stop move or a pop up move.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't require meter.
Mm-hmm.
Like Katana, she could get fan lift. I was like, okay, why
You
everybody
had to.
else seems like
It depends on your variation.
oh, depending on your variation.
It depended on your variation. You had to special
Oh,
for the fan lifts to get it to work. However, uh, I believe in it really it depended on what you're canceling it from. So if
oh,
in one variation, if you did back 2-3-1 to cancel to a fan lift, and you had just regular fan, it uh I believe it worked. But if you had the special fan lift to where it actually projectiled,
hmm.
it didn't work. The only time it would work is if you did like a back 1-3.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I need to revisit it. I I believe. Uh, comment down below if you know the answer. If you comment down below, tell me how stupid tell me if I'm missing this. But
um,
okay.
but yeah, that's the explosiveness.
Mhm.
And I was watching um uh who was I watching? Maximilian.
Max dude, okay.
Maximilian, yeah, and he said something that actually caught my eye. I was like, that would be pretty sick.
What's that?
What did he say? I forgot. I'm blanking. What did he say? It's gonna come back to me. But yeah,
After we're done
like
recording, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, oh,
right.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
Max,
yeah,
dude, if you
like
know what he's talking about, and if you happen to watch this, what was he talking about? What was he talking about? Comment down below. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like don't give me no breakaways. The
Mm-hmm.
wake up system is okay. Me, unlike some other people, I do like wake up buttons because then that's just basically you messed up on your meaty, so I'm about to
Mm-hmm.
punish you because you messed up on your meaty. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's just the meta.
Wake ups have always been there. It's just
Yeah,
implemented in 3 different ways.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Like, keep no armor in the game unless it's on a fatal blow or X-ray. Um,
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can agree.
uh,
I agree with you. I don't like armored moves. I think that's dumb.
unless it's like say like
Or you
a
special it.
heavy grappler character
Mm-hmm.
and they need some way to get in and they like say they have like a charge you could cancel and they
Okay.
like charge and give them a little bit of armor or something like that. That's
Yeah.
I'm fine with. We don't need like no trimmer flash
Yeah. I know.
we
Mm-hmm.
don't need trimmer again.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need trimmer again. Like
Yeah.
trimmer or MK9 Kung Lao. We don't need none of that.
Mm-hmm.
But uh I like give me back MK9 dash blocking. MK9 dash blocking
Okay.
was it's like the middle ground of wave dashing and running because the
Mm-hmm.
dash blocking was from what I remember it was good mobility.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like super fast, but it
Mm-hmm.
was still fast and it wasn't slow.
Mm-hmm.
So and if y'all want to put wave dashing back in. Like
Yeah.
if some people want to get technical with it, okay,
Mm-hmm.
y'all can still wave dash. But as so say like people still have good movement without wave dashing.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So um just give me a killer roster. Like I kind of want what 20 characters, 24 something. Like give me like I don't need like no 32.
Mm-hmm.
Uh what how many characters in Street Fighter coming out? 18? Like yeah, somewhere around there
I
is
think there's
fine.
20. I want to say there's 18,
18,
but
20,
so
somewhere around there.
you don't like Ultra Street Fighter 4, where it's like
Oh, how many had like what, eight?
Ultra
oh,
no Ultra Street Fighter 4 they
oh
had
no, Ultra. I'm thinking of the first one where it came out. Um,
Ultra Street Fighter 4.
I think they have like 40. No, 30, 30
44.
something. 44. Okay,
44 characters.
44. I mean, huh? I
That's a tough one,
I
man.
would
Mm-hmm.
I would accept 44 characters.
Okay.
Just minimal guest characters. Because I know I know guess is gonna happen.
They're going to.
Just
They have to.
minimal guest characters.
Ed Boon openly said that guest characters sell the most.
Yeah,
In the
I mean,
reason,
hey,
yeah, he said he
that's
sold
why. I mean,
Scorpion and Injustice. Yeah, it all started with Scorpion and Injustice 1.
yeah, Scorpion was sold like crazy.
Yes. And like Injustice 2 is beyond me why they didn't use Black Lightning and make Raiden a costume. But no, they went with
Yeah,
Raiden. I thought that was in poor taste.
Raiden wasn't even the most in MK2. I mean, Injustice 2. The
Yeah.
Turtles was the most.
Hmm.
And the Turtle.
But yeah, I agree with you. I personally don't like guest characters. I thought
Yeah.
I was like, to me, it's like, why would you waste 4 slots of guest characters when you have 4 slots open for way better characters?
I accept it because okay, this at first I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I had Freddy Krueger, when they first gave us Freddy Krueger, I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty dope. Freddy Krueger in
Mm-hmm.
the game, and I was like, wait a minute, we got Freddy instead of like this other character that we could have had. Like in
Mm-hmm.
PSP, I think you could have played as Trimmer in the PSP MK9 version. I think you could have. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
I'm pretty
But
sure MKX was the first time we seen Tremors in Special Forces.
what did it, I could have sworn we saw Trimmer in MK. Oh, it was the Towers. He was like a tower talent or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, like Freddy was cool, but then I started liking it after I saw Jason.
Mm.
Jason is probably my favorite guest character. I'm not even a Friday the 13th fan.
Mm-hmm.
I just like how he played, and they actually they did good. Like every single guest character they do in these games are phenomenal.
They
Like
actually do them
they're
pretty good. Yeah, I'll give
yeah,
them that.
like they're amazing. Like as if we get characters, at least we know they're going to be dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like like if we had to have a guest character for 12, I don't know, give me Pennywise. That
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people are wanting Pennywise. He's
yeah,
a very, very demanded character.
give me Pennywise and do some crazy crap and something like Pennywise.
Yeah.
I think they did Pennywise with balloon traps. Come on now.
They have balloon traps, and then it's like if you run into them, they'll lift you up.
You'll
Yeah.
float too.
Yeah. Do some kind of like
like
jump cancel. Yeah.
yeah.
I could see that. That'd be
And
sick.
when he dances, he get meter. Like they can do a lot of stuff with Pennywise.
It can kind of be his dance can be like a like Shao Kahn's taunt.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Exactly.
it'll increase his damage output if he can dance. Yeah, you could do something cool. I'm sure they'll figure something out, dude.
Right.
So,
Like give me like I said, a killer cast.
mm-hmm.
Like I would say, bring some 3D era characters back. I think I seen Ed
Mm.
Boon said that was going to
Every
happen
I think
in one of them questions.
100% of the fan base agree with that statement. Everyone is like, bring back 3D. The only so far the only 3D character they've really fleshed out is Kenshi.
Kenshi, yeah, Kenshi Boraicho.
Boracho, yeah,
Yeah.
but
You said everybody agree with that, but everybody's not going to agree with what I'm about to say.
okay.
Give me Darius.
I didn't
I
say.
know people go. Okay, just hear
I
me
thought
out.
you were about to say Die Roof there for a second.
No, not Darius. No. I mean, I want people to just have conversations. I don't want people to hate me.
Okay.
But,
I like okay. I think Darius was a great concept. He has a great character design.
Yeah.
You got to do something better with him, though.
Yeah, that's all I want. I just want them to do something better. Like they had a good concept right there. Like y'all basically put Blade in the game. If they made Darius like rivals with Natara, come on, it ranks itself.
Sorry, you said Hotaru or Natara?
Natara.
Oh, because
Natara.
she's a vampire. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like it ranks itself.
Because he was. I was gonna say, if you put Darius in there, Natara has to be there. That would be cool. You're right. That's a great concept. But he's the rival to Hotaru. So
is it a rival to Hotaru, or are they partners? I thought they was partners.
Wasn't Darius? Wasn't he kind of the rebellious of the rebellion of the order realm?
The chaos of the order realm? Is he? Okay, maybe I'm just getting it mixed up because they had like the same color schemes, and I'm thinking like it was part of the same squad. So maybe that's why I'm getting it mixed up. But yeah, actually, I would like give me
He's a great
Havoc.
character
I
design.
mean,
I'm looking at him right now.
yeah, Havoc. I'm pretty sure everybody in the MK community wants Havoc.
Havoc and Smoke are the two biggest ones. Everybody wants
Okay,
Smoke and Havoc.
I don't want Smoke. I want a Ninra.
Uh,
Give me a Ninra. I know this is
why he wasn't, dude? Why he was not in MKX is beyond. I'm not talking.
oh my
Triborg. Forget that. You should have just given me a Nimra.
right. That should have been a Ninra. Like, give me a Ninra. Oh. A demonized smoke is
Mm-hmm.
basically Serena, but male.
Yeah. So Darius, yeah, he's the revolutionary terrorist. He's a revolutionary, he's a terrorist, and he is most known for massive riots in the Order Realm. That's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he was like
I mean,
the freedom fighters
they
or
ret-
whatever.
they retcon everything else. Why not just retcon and make them rivals with Natara?
Yeah. I'm sure you can do some pretty cool things with that.
Do something with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's pretty much it. Like just give me like I love what they're going with gameplay. Like every single gameplay of the game seems like they're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
MK11 they look like they dialed it back a little bit, and I'm gonna need them to ramp it up back to 100, not anime style. Well, I'm talking about play style, not looks
Mm-hmm.
here. So play style, ramp it up to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see all these games, you touch, you die.
Yeah.
Two, three touch, to three touches max.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah.
I do like that. It's fast games. It's fast paced.
Okay.
People will play more. Will play, more cautious. Fatal blows if they come back. If they use it, they lose it. Even
Mm-hmm.
on whiff,
Mm-hmm.
and on block.
Okay.
You use it, you lose it. That's
Okay.
your. You decided to use it here. Okay. Oh well. Well, guess what? No more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bars. I like the bars of MK9 and MKX.
Okay.
Uh,
Just
like
the four
the three
bars.
bars.
You don't like the two defensive, two offensive?
I do not like that. No,
Okay.
I do not. I do not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see what they was trying to do,
It's a good
but
idea. I mean,
yeah,
I just thought they had a good
if
system. There's no need to
if they do
change.
that, if they do that, if they do that,
Mm-hmm.
let us refill our bars. You know what I'm saying?
Like not timed.
Yeah,
Okay. So you refill
like
defensive
how you
bars by
normally
playing
refill it.
defensively,
Like,
and you refill
yeah,
offensive bars by
yeah,
playing offensively.
yeah,
That would be a lot
yeah.
better. I can see that being that's a good that would be a good concept. You're right.
And I would say give us one more bar of offensive,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's. And if y'all want to do a new bar,
Mm-hmm.
make a fatal blow bar.
There, yeah.
Or they could
Or maybe
do.
fatal blows. You have to use all four of them. You lose defense and you lose offense. You lose everything.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah. I mean, that's originally what X-rays was, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay, if you're gonna
Or
risk using a fatal blow, you're gonna lose everything.
or they could go the Street Fighter route and just give us back our 3 bars at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
or 4 bars, and then have an extra bar under our life bars
Mm-hmm.
that's not stamina, but it's like a fatal bar. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
bar, if you could use it for your fatal blows, you could use it for your crushing blows,
Mm-hmm.
and you could use it for like something else. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
something maybe defensively.
Yeah.
And so like for all your other like defensive options and for like your combo extenders and all that,
Mm-hmm.
that's where your fatal bars from. And then and the other bar is basically for just X-ray, not X-rays, but EX moves and breakers.
Okay.
Yeah, like do something.
Hmm.
Like just don't give. Like if you want to keep the same bars, keep the same bars, but let us refill them.
Hmm. Yeah,
Actually,
I didn't like time bars. I thought that was kind of silly because by the time you were done, by the time I used both my defensive bars, they've already recharged.
right.
You know, so
I think Street Fighter 6 has now got recharge bars, don't it?
yeah, but there's it's timed, um,
Uh-oh.
but you can also reach you could, but they deplete pretty fast. There,
Okay.
when I was in the beta, there wasn't one match where at least one of us didn't get exhaustion because you use all your
Okay.
bars, you go into exhaustion. So yeah, but you can recharge them on your own too. So they're timed, but you can also like recharge them as well.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
there's ways to do that. But if you are one of those turtles that just block the entire time, you're gonna lose it.
Oh damn.
So yeah, it's
Okay.
there's ways to gain and there's ways to lose. It's Street Fighter 6 is going to be all about meter management. That's going to be the biggest
Yeah, I
thing
see
in
that.
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yeah, what was I gonna say? Keep brutalities how they are. Don't change nothing about brutality.
Hmm.
I like how they made classic fatalities into brutalities. I do like that
Okay.
because instead of paying, because it will be DLC and you have to buy the classic fatalities.
Hmm.
Instead of paying, I'd rather have them be a brutality, an unlockable brutality. Uh, I would rather have that. I like how they made like almost every character from past games have all their classic brutes, all their classic fatalities.
Hmm.
Like I like that. Um, Dial back on the blood a little bit.
Yeah.
Dial back on the blood.
Yeah.
This is a little smidgen. And, like it don't have to be all out there in your face
Hmm.
and everywhere. Um,
3D era is even worse, dude. It's like
oh,
pints and pints and pints of
oh,
yeah.
would okay. Now, did you like the battle damage in MK9 or in MKX?
Um,
Because
I
nine,
liked
they
it.
was messed up.
Uh,
like,
I liked it
like,
in MK. I liked how you could see that it like okay in MKX I noticed more like you could see blood splatters on them.
hmm
Um, I I liked battle damage. I just think it was kind of weird how you do all this battle damage to Jade, and it was pretty much a piece of cloth that was covering up her nipples.
Oh yeah,
It
I
was
remember
that
that.
was that was I thought that was a little bit too much.
I think they should do battle damage, just not super over the top. Like I
Yeah,
said, MK9 was the
MKX was
anime
deep.
level, and
M
MK9 was the anime level.
I liked 3D era battle damage. You can see the bruises and the black eyes and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was cool.
Like it's very
And I
subtle, not over the top.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I liked MKX how you can see the blood splatters and stuff like that. On like their
yeah,
shoulders and their you can see it a little bit on their face that it it almost looked like as if like Batman just got back to the Batcave and he had some you know some blood splatter from beating criminals to a pulp. Like it wasn't his blood,
right, right.
like it's something like that would be cool. But I think yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Like the battle damage in this game there's no battle damage. There's no
No.
battle damage. I would like to see like some armor, like dented armor, like a
Hmm.
little bruise on the arms or something.
Hmm.
Like you ain't gotta like take this big old chunk out of my arm or my face
Like,
and have my teeth showing. Like just
yeah,
show me a little bruised up or
I think
something.
like I thought it'd be cool if like, okay, so Melina always does her gut um with her size. She always does like the little
Yeah,
you know.
right.
I think it'd be cool to see like your shirt cut up and kind of
Yep.
waving. Have you ever seen like when someone's shirt gets cut up and everything, and it's like
Yep.
it'd be kind of cool to see like, you know, your shirt get all, you know, your cut up there, or like, you know, see some bruises and black eyes. Um, let's see. Yeah, I thought it was like weird how in MK9 how you can like you can see muscle in the arms and legs,
Mhm.
you know? So, yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like
Okay.
just it's like it's basically MK11, but just touch it up. Like
Mhm.
give it a little better, some more better stuff, and take away some stuff. That's pretty
Yeah.
much it. Like they're going in a good route,
Mhm.
and I do like where they're going. But like y'all just need to bring back some stuff and
Mhm.
take away some stuff.
Mhm.
Give some stuff and take away some.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Um I
Like
I
I'm.
I can agree with a lot of
Sorry.
it and everything. I mean, um for me, if you want to make like the perfect MK game, make it last 6 to 8 years. Um
Oh yeah.
I don't like the 4 year cycle. I think Street Fighter and Tekken have done a great job at making their games last a lot longer. And find a way to keep the casuals interested and implement bringing new players. Now I understand that it's MK. It's always going to be for adults, no matter what.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
or it's supposed to be. I mean, all of our stories consist of us being 6 years old and sneaking the game
Yes.
in. So, you know, it's always going to be that game that you're not supposed to play as a kid. But uh, character
That's why we
design.
like it so much.
I know.
Because you're not supposed to play
It's yeah, you're not supposed to be playing it.
it.
Um,
You're not supposed to be playing
yeah. Character design probably number one. Roster and character design for me, because
it.
I want a good roster. I want 3D. Give me, of course, Scorpion and Sub Zero, and I really like the way they look. You know, Scorpion, Sub Zero. I want Kung Lao, Liu Kang. But give me, um, lore's going to be big too. So I know I'm kind of like throwing it all out there right now, but it's like,
No, you're
so
good.
roster. Give me a good roster. Give me a good character designs. Don't go 150 miles an hour like you did in MK9. The only female character that really makes sense is Melina. But also don't tone it so far down like you did in MKX and MK11. I thought the 3D era did a really good job at making giving unique and fantasy character designs and character outfits and personalities. Particularly, MK11 did a great job with the personalities and cultures. I thought that was really good. We talked a lot about that. Um, so yeah, character design and roster number one. Mechanics. I like. I would like things to go back to how they were in MK9, but also you were kind of right. So you were like explosion first, you know, uh, like MK9 mechanics second. I'm MK9 mechanics first, MKX explosion second, and uh, I think that the combos themselves they need to be a bit simpler in the way that they were in MK9. Get rid of variations altogether. I don't like variations. And I told you like limitation breeds creativity. You get really
Yeah.
creative when you're only limited to so much because you need to find out ways to break the system. And you could do that. You had to do that in MK9, and there were problems in MK9. There was a lot of problems in MK9, systematically. But if you can, you know, find ways that you can in MK11. The system was a lot better, so I feel like if we could get back to there, but also, you know, kind of like an MKX, make more explosive combos, because you're right, like the Guilty Gears, the DNF duels, you know, do that. Now, where you were like, you know, big explosive combos, I agree, but what I really like about Tekken is I like the footsies, the jabs, the openings. I like how you kind of have to play that jab, open, try to get that open in the way that we kind of did in MKX. Like I always revert back to like Melina's back 1-2 in piercing variation, because you're like trying to open them up, you know, and trying to, you know, play tricky, because that's why I always like to play like the tricky characters. And
like poke. Oh, now I'm about to run up command grab you.
Yeah, it's like I always like, that's how I play, you know. So there's I play a lot of Cammy in Street Fighter, you know, play some Jury also, but in like I was always Katana main, and I was a MKX as Melina. I was like Melina and Sindel in MK9, but in 3D era as Frost. Frost was always my favorite character. So yeah, it's like, give me a good roster, give me great mechanics, or give me a good roster, give me a good character design, because I won't play a character unless I like the way they look. And they did a great job with the male characters. They did a decent job with the female characters, but it's like that now we're getting to lore, because character design and lore kind of go hand in hand. Is give me a really intriguing story and bring conquest mode back, and make a story to where you're taking me back into the universe of Mortal Kombat, and make it a fantasy again. You know, that's I don't want realism. You know, I don't want that. Dude, it's like
I live in it. I don't want to come to my game.
Yeah, dude, it's like
more of it.
Shoot, I climb poles. I climb 30-foot poles for a living and dig ditches, dude. It's like I lay fiber optic all day long in the wind and rain. I come home, spend time with my kids and my wife and everything, and it's like I want to sit down at the end of the day and just beat people to a pulp and spill some blood in a fantasy realm, dude. It's like that's what I want, bro. I don't want to
leave work and come back and feel like I'm working again.
Exactly. Is like this is like a little different, because people, I understand, people want to see like you know, you want to see like Black people in the game, you want to see Native Americans in the game, and the representation. I get that. I don't want to see a telecommunications technician in a game, dude. I don't want to see everyday dude in a game. I don't want to see basic girl in my game. You know what I mean? Like that's
like give me a 6-foot elf with white hair that breathes fire and summons a toad.
Dude, like give me food. That's why Fujin was such a good character. I was like, all right, you got this handsome dude that's like 6'5", 215 solid muscle, bro, can walk on wind, bro. That's a good character. You know,
see, Rain and Fujin give me hope for the next game, because I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, and I don't care what your sexual orientation is. If you could be the straightest, most masculine man in the world, and you take one look at Rain or Fujin, it's like bro, you just think just for a second, just to like, oh, maybe, oh no, okay, yeah, bro. And saying it's like it's insane thing with it's like with the girl. I don't want I don't want to see the Starbucks barista in my MK games. It's give me the sexy seductress who's gonna lure me in, and then all of a sudden, like, you get too close and she unravels her veil and is gonna eat my face off. Like,
I mean, some Starbucks baristas look like anime characters now.
Maybe in Roseville.
True.
Maybe in Granite Bay.
Yeah.
I don't know about
But yeah,
Natomas.
I mean, like exactly. Like, give me my fantasy back.
Yeah, that's
That's
what I want. I
like,
want to escape to the
I mean,
Netherrealm. Well, not Netherrealm, Adenia. I
there.
want to go to Adenia. That's where I want to go.
Ooh,
You know,
yeah. I
as
mean, like we
like
don't know where this story is going to go. Like
the
this story,
yeah.
it's in Liu Kang's hands. Like, what if he don't want to start on Earth?
Hmm.
What if he want to start in in the realm of chaos?
Okay.
Chaos realm.
Hmm.
Like, what if you want to start there and now you're following this character?
Hmm.
That's another thing. I don't want Earth realm to be the main realm again.
Yeah, get rid of special forces. I mean, no, don't get rid of all of special forces, but it's like Sonya and Jax.
Yeah,
You know, that was
like
cool.
like I let's go somewhere else. Let's
Hmm.
explore. Like y'all say, there's like these like there's so many. We have the dream realm.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
we have a realm where there's dinosaur people. Where can we go to that realm?
dude,
Like
I would
like
what are they called, the Zotan, chameleon,
the
and
Zetarian,
yeah, Zetarian. Thank
Zetarian.
you. That's
Yeah,
reptiles race.
yeah.
Yeah, dude. That.
Like let's go. Let's go. I'm
Yeah,
down to
yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
think about
Like
this,
I
dude.
want
Think about this. You're a Scorpion main. You're a huge Scorpion
to.
fan, right?
Yes.
Think about this for a second. Scorpion is the face of Mortal Kombat. Who's the
Okay.
main character? It's not Scorpion. It's Liu Kang.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Liu
You're
Kang's
right.
the
It's
main
Liu Kang.
character. Okay?
Yeah. No,
Why
you're right.
make Scorpion the main character? Make Katana the main character, you know? Make Natara the main
Yeah.
character. Make Serena the main
Like
character. You know?
great.
Make Chameleon or Reptile the main
Liu
character.
Kang. Liu Kang should, from what we got, he should be playing the role of Raiden.
Hmm. Well, now.
So
Yeah, from here on out now.
yeah, now
Yeah, now.
like
I
so we should have. I mean, we have the Great Kung Lao, and I don't. If y'all give us the Great Kung Lao, he
hmm
better not play like Kung Lao. I don't want to see a hat. Like
Yeah.
all the pictures y'all showed us of Great Kung Lao,
Hmm.
he was bald with a headband.
Hmm.
He had no hat.
Hmm.
Like, give us if the Great Kung Lao plays like what is that, spiritual Kung Lao, where he like shit hits the ground and like pops you up and stuff like that. I
Hmm.
would like that.
Yeah.
That would be dope. I'll take that. But I don't want to see no spin.
Hmm.
Don't give him no spin. Don't give him no he. Don't make him It Man. That's all. Don't make the Great Kung Lao
They'll,
thing.
yeah,
We
like, yeah.
yeah yeah like
Hmm.
give him something else. We
Yeah.
what's the
it'd be kind of cool to see a reimagining of like all these different characters. I'm okay with start
right.
like I have a feeling in the next installment they're gonna probably have to start from the ground up and they're gonna completely
I,
reimagine it. I don't think they will
I,
because it's safe for them to play Scorpion as
right.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero as
I
Sub-Zero,
mean
but it's safe to go that route. But if they had just a little bit of balls, that would be cool to see like
what
completely reimagining
okay.
of these characters.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
What if Katana and Shiva switch roles?
So Shiva's the princess and Katana is the bodyguard,
Yes.
which would make the what's
The
the
Shokan
the
is basically
Shokan.
the
So the
yeah,
Shokan
the Shokan
run it.
run it. Yeah.
They run Outworld, and the Adenians.
Are like they're basically that the big guys, you know,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
the yeah,
I mean,
we F stuff up.
logically, it makes sense. Like Shao Kahn makes
Right,
sense, right? But
right.
the Shokan being the big bads, or not big bads, but the big badasses who conquer with brute strength because they are literally bigger than everyone else makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm. Because
That's a
I
hard
only
one.
asked you that because I asked myself, I was like, what if they switched the roles of Sub-Zero and Scorpion? Like Sub-Zero goes to hell, but instead of getting fire powers, he gets like the the coldness of hell. You know, like hell freezes over. You know what I'm saying?
I was
And it's
literally,
like,
I was thinking that hell's frozen over. Okay, hell is no longer
yeah,
hellfire and brimstone. It is
that's
now
right.
a frozen wasteland.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
wait. No, so if it would go reverse, he
Mm-hmm.
would go to heaven. So he would get like the holy ice or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And you know, like the Shiaryu is like, you know, the clan that's like getting the cyber initiative and all that. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
would I accept that?
Mm,
And I think I kind of would because I like to see, you know,
I would
because you
like
know
to
how you were
see. I would
saying,
like to see NRS take some risks
yeah,
with their
exactly.
story. I would like to see them try something completely
Like
new.
throw a horseshoe in there and let's see what happens.
Yeah. But
Let's just put a bull in a glass house and let's just see what
not just dude. Don't put a bowl in a china cabinet. Put in a freaking
happens.
put in a what that's called yeah, put it in a glass house like you said.
Yeah.
um I was
Like
gonna put
let's
it. I was
just
gonna
see
say an
what
antique store. Put a bowl in an antique store and
oh
see what
yeah,
happens,
that's
bro.
even better.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
but
see what's happening.
yeah, man.
Like
But
I want to
I want them to explore a lot more than just Liu Kang and Liu Kang. I'm sorry, Liu Kang, Raiden, and Kung Lao, and
right.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I want to see them explore Sarina and Natara.
Yes.
I would like to
So
see the explore more about Reptile and Chameleon. That'd be cool to see Chameleon in the game.
mhm.
You
Which
know,
chameleon? Because only one of them is canon.
isn't the female the only one that's canon?
Yeah, the female's the only one that's
Okay.
canon.
Um, I mean, doesn't. I mean, either
I
way,
mean, I like them both. So
yeah,
yeah, either way.
either way. And,
But
okay,
I
okay. Give me stances. Okay, that's the one thing I loved about 3D era. So
well, the stances was the variations, wouldn't you say?
they were the different martial artists and stuff, the different martial arts. But it was really cool to see,
Yes.
so,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Scorpion does the Hapkido, he does like this thing,
Yeah.
and then the Pai Gua, and then he does
Yeah.
But I really liked like Street Fighter 6 Jury, how she stands on one leg,
On one leg.
and Frost does that too. Actually, no, Katana, Frost, Lee Mei, all
Lee May does the one leg.
she does the one leg where she stands like this. I was like,
Yes.
give me some martial arts. That's the other thing too. They did it with
Like
Jackie
real
with Muay Thai,
Yeah.
but that's another thing. Bring in martial arts again. That was what drew me into 3D era to begin with, because I still to this day I train jiu-jitsu, I trained Muay Thai and MMA, and like one thing that really brought me into Mortal Kombat initially was because when I first learned Mortal Kombat, I was doing Shotokan karate. That was the first martial art I learned. But then like later on, when the 3D era was out, I was like really into Muay Thai, and I was like, oh, Jax has Muay Thai, and he stands like this in
Right.
the thing, and then Jackie does it too. So I like how they brought that in. That was super cool. But when he brought in wrestling, I mean, I don't think that'd be cool to see an actual grappler in the next game. But
Like a full-on grappler, like a Zangief.
not quite Zangief, because Zangief sucks. I hate that character.
Well, no, because
But like Grappler from
the
DNF Duel.
like the grappler of the game is supposed to be Jax. I feel
Mm-hmm.
because he's the strongest man in the world, as
Mm-hmm.
what they told us.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think he would be the one throwing people everywhere. I mean, he had an air.
He's technically a grappler in MK11. I mean, he has all the command. He has the command grabs.
Yeah, he has the command grabs,
So
and
when he pounds you down in the head and stuff like that, it's cool. I like that. So yeah,
yeah,
so technically, yeah, but and I'm glad that he's really one of the only ones who does too. He's very
yeah.
unique in that setting. But yeah, it's like I would like to see. I remember first seeing Lee May standing like that with that stance. Like standing on one leg. I was like,
I think it was called Crane. Was it Crane?
no, it's called
Somebody had Crane.
Shao Kahn Shang Tsung had Crane. He had Crane and Snake.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
and so he stood like this, the snake.
Okay.
But yeah, it was. Just that's the cool, like, there it's very little, and I understand that and everything, but I like how they brought back like the stance with Scorpion and like the legacy stance, how he just stands like this.
So
But like,
with the martial arts,
mm-hmm.
my one of my he's probably like top 5 favorite characters of mine. Kai.
Okay.
Yeah. But I always want Kai to come back as a capoeira fighter.
Ooh. Okay.
Because in MK4,
Mm-hmm.
he walked on his hands and he had that spin move
Mm-hmm.
on his hand. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and then I think of Eddie Guerrero. I mean, not Eddie Guerrero, but
Eddie Gordo.
Eddie Gordo.
Mm-hmm.
Second, yeah.
Or Elena.
I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
MK doesn't have a capoeira fighter. I thought it
Mm-mm.
was Tanya in MKX, but it
And she's
wasn't.
more like a gymnast.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, who's
and
that?
I was like, Kai would be the perfect capoeira fighter. And it makes sense for him to be the main protagonist in MK12
Mm-hmm.
because he was supposed to be Liu Kang's apprentice or predecessor,
Mm-hmm.
but that just left and nothing happened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
If you ever get the chance, look up Lateef Crowder.
Lateef Crowder.
Mm-hmm. He's based out of the Bay Area, but he's a capoeira master. He was in the movie The Protector with Tony Jaa. He played as Eddie Gordo in the Tekken live action movie.
Oh, that's him.
Lateef Crowder.
Oh, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
He also
Yeah,
played as
I know. Yeah.
remember that Mortal Kombat that live action.
He was Baraka.
He was Baraka. Yeah, that's Lateef Crowder.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He's like the capoeira master, bro. He's freaking sick to watch. Yeah.
Bro, they could get him to mocap him.
Mocap him. There you go. NRS. Take notes. Get Lateef Crowder in there, please. Please.
Bro, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, if they try, they need like martial arts. When you said martial arts, I'm thinking like they don't have a capoeira fight.
Yeah.
They don't have like I'm thinking of like everything that everybody has had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think that's might be the main one that they don't have. They don't
yeah.
have a capoeira fighter. And
Yeah. I would like to see just
fighters,
they do a great job with like Cassie Cage is like and Sonya Blade. They have that MMA style. I actually really like that. I thought that was cool.
I think they did that because Ronda Rousey,
mm-hmm.
Sonya.
And
Yeah, but
don't get me wrong, I like Ronda
military.
Rousey, but I was like, dude, like, why is Ronda Rousey?
Yeah,
like I
her
like
voice
Ronda
acting
Rousey.
is,
I thought it was cool, but yeah. Anyway, and Johnny Cage does a great job. I think they brought in Johnny Cage's karate in there. He was very karate.
yeah, he was
in there, and he was pretty much Jean-Claude Van Damme. He even did the split spin kick that you see in a Bloodsport. but yeah, it's like bring martial arts. That was one thing I loved about Mortal Kombat was the martial arts, and I feel like they've kind of they brought it in here and there in the newer games, but not like they used to.
They need a sumo wrestler. Either make Boraicho the sumo wrestler,
mm-hmm.
or give us another like a huge guy,
mm-hmm.
like a huge fat guy.
Like a big
I
old,
don't care.
like a big body guy.
I don't care what y'all make him. He could be anything. Make him Irish. I don't care. Irish sumo wrestler. I don't know how many people would be mad, but I think that would be funny.
It's like from Gold,
Yeah.
like from Goldmember from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that is right. I
that's
forgot
good.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Get Mike Myers in here, dude.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Oh,
Exactly.
bro.
The Irish sumo
The
wrestler.
Scottish. He was
That's
Scottish. He was
funnier.
Scottish. Yeah.
He's Scottish. Okay. Yeah.
He was a
Yeah.
Scottish sumo wrestler. It's like,
Yeah.
hey,
Oh.
diaper lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just give us something. Like, give us,
Yeah.
give us the characters that y'all want to give us.
And
But
it's okay.
just throw a,
And it's okay to
throw
be
Allen wrench in there.
It's okay to be goofy again. That's the other thing.
Right.
Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat got in X and 11. They got too serious.
But they
Dude.
started to go back in X with the friendship. I mean, 11 with the friendship.
Okay, with 11 with the friendship they did. But
Yeah.
do you remember? Or before I say that, but it's like in a 3D era, and it was like, yeah, it was dark and bloody and gory and stuff, but it was still goofy. You know, it had an element of silliness in it that kind of was the humor in there that made it fun. You know what I mean? What I was gonna say was gosh, I almost lost my train of thought there. Do you remember? We brought this up the other day. A couple of friends of you're familiar with what is her name? She's the Melina player. I think she's
Baylina?
No, I think I want to say she's Moroccan. Oh gosh. Late lady something. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting her name.
Very good.
But she's big in the community. She's really big in the Mortal Kombat community, but she's a big Melina fan. And then when they showed Melina, it was either when Katana had Melina's dagger or when they first showed Katana's friendship, and Melina comes out and she was so sad. And it was kind of one of those things where you're just like, gosh, NRS, you are hurting your community right now. Like, you just
they show Katana's fatality.
No, they show Katana's friendship when Melina comes out, and it's like, oh, Melina. It's like Melina's in the friendship, but she's not in the game. You know, it was so sad.
To be honest, I loved when they did that.
Oh, I did too.
I was like, yup, she's never coming back.
Mm-hmm.
She is not. And then next year she's back.
Yeah. Gosh.
Like, God, so y'all gotta stand on y'all word. Y'all said she wasn't coming back. But
Losty Girl.
I think I know Losty Girl.
Yeah, it was Losty, and I remember it's like she did a reaction video of like of Katana's friendship, or it was either Katana's friendship or is when she saw Katana and Katana had Melina's Sai, and she was like, no, she has her Sai, no, she has her friendship, that means Melina is not going to be in the game, and she was so sad. Like, oh man, it was just one of those times. But yeah, it's like, anyway, but shoot, we just hit the 3 hour mark, bro.
Oh, I'm here for it.
Yeah. Any last anything else before we close it out?
No.
Pretty much, yeah. I think we pretty much covered it, man.
I think. Yeah. I think I'm good.
Yeah. So, but thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it,
No
bro.
problem.
Yeah, we'll talk soon. I know we're definitely going to talk soon as it approaches. It's something's going to happen, man. Something big is going to happen.
I feel it in my gut. I
Yeah,
don't know.
feel my jellies.
For some reason, I just think that I'm gonna wake up and go to work, and I'm gonna just look on Twitter, and everybody's going crazy with a trailer or something.
You're gonna have to watch it on your phone
or
while everybody's at home watching on their.
right,
That's me.
right.
That's
I'm
me,
like,
dude.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
I know exactly what you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, thank you so much. Yeah, we'll have you on again pretty soon as more stuff gets announced, more things roll out, and yeah. So until next time, bro. We'll see you.
I see it.
All right, later, bro.